All right. Well, I'm excited to be back for MaREC Madness. I can't believe it. We are here. It is Thursday, March 14th. It's just like Tuesday, March 12th, but better because everything's going to go smoothly tonight. If you were tuned in last time, we usually run this on Tuesday nights. We had a bit of a technical malfunction, but I'm happy to announce that we are back. I'm joined in the booth by Ben Enslow. B Jammin'. Ben, say hello to Rec Poker
Hey,
Nation.
good to see everybody again. Hopefully we can make it through tonight. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the matches. So yeah, this is gonna be good.
I got a good feeling about it. And we're going to start off with Joe Coolis versus Roger Schutte. Luckily, we were able to capture a recording of some of this earlier action. So we're going to dive right into the beginning of the match, starting in just about a minute here. I'll tell you a little bit about Joe Coolis and Roger Schutte, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what we're getting up to here at Rec Poker with MaREC Madness. Rec Poker, if you don't know already, is a fantastic, largely free poker learning community. We have a great time sharing our love of poker with the world, and you can sign up for a free account right now over at rec.poker. All it takes is an email address and a smile, although, as Ben enjoys me saying, we do insist on both. And we're doing this bracket, MaREC Madness tournament series, which we're really excited about. Joe Coolis is one of our wrecking crew members. He's one of the folks that make the magic happen over here, like Ben and I, kind of our leadership panel, and we run events throughout the month to help other recreational players enjoy the game. And Roger Schutte is a fantastic premium member who also volunteers his time twice a week in post production with our podcast episodes. He touches every single podcast episode that we release and have for the last few years. So thank you so much, Roger. What a fantastic way to contribute to what we're doing here at Rec Poker. So if you see Roger at the top of your screen and Joe at the bottom of your screen as the action begins to unfold. Again, some of you may have seen the first few minutes of this on Tuesdays. So while we're catching up, Ben, tell us a little bit. You played last week. What's this experience like as a player?
It can be a little bit intimidating, especially when you're kind of used to playing full ring. You get a little bit of comfort being able to, if you want to fold the hand and not tell anybody, you can. If you want to, raise a hand and then fold it, and be like, okay, I got away with that one, you can. But with everybody seeing the cards and with just two people in the hand, it's a little
Mm.
bit harder to kind of get away. So we'll see some interesting poker tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see. I said it last time. I want to see how many three bets and kind of the three betting frequencies of the players and stuff like that. So that should be fun.
Yes, it's really interesting. It is a completely different dynamic when you're playing heads up, and then even more so
Mm.
when you know that cards are up and there's people watching,
Yeah, that
and
definitely it messes with your head more than what you think. And I play for like I really want to win. So um when everybody's watching, you're always thinking, oh, what are people gonna say and what are people gonna think? So
yeah,
can definitely affect your decision making.
I bet. Well, if you're watching along in the Twitch chat, thanks for joining us live. This video will be available later on YouTube. We're going to be playing along with our live audience here. Folks are going to get a chance to win some prizes tonight. So for each match, we're going to have four matches. This is Joe versus Roger. Then we're going to see Kathy Chang versus Taylor Moss. Then Ron Payton versus Rob Washam, then Chris Jones versus John Somsky. So for each of those matches, you're going to have a chance to guess the winning hand and post it in the Twitch chat here. So if you're watching along, feel free to start entering your guesses for the winning hand. Don't worry about saying suited or unsuited. Don't worry about the actual suits themselves, just the rank of the hand. And we'll give away a prize. And Ben, we're also going to give away a prize. You picked the nine of spades as your card of destiny. And
Yep.
so if the nine of spades is in the winning hand for any of our matches tonight, then we're going to give away a prize to one of the lucky people in the Twitch chat as well. So get your guesses in for that. Um, and let me see, this is Thursday, like I said, but usually we do these on Tuesdays. Oh boy,
Yeah,
this hand, this
this
one's
is a
going to
big
be
hand. Yeah.
you expect this one to just have a bunch
This
of
is a
chips
big one.
piling in.
Yeah.
Um, we were able to watch this one earlier, and that board shuts it right down.
Yeah.
No one's got a piece of that. No one's got any clubs,
And no
and
clubs, yeah.
this
I
is not, this is a hard one
This is a tough
to
one,
get chips
yeah.
into.
Especially with such a small pot. There's only 4.2 in, on the flop.
Hmm.
But when I'm
And
Joe,
that's a good point.
I love this turn though when I'm Joe with two queens. I'm feeling so much better. But I hate this river. I'm like, no, I go right back to hating it again. No, we got, you always assume that your pair is no good once you see the
Oh
four flush
yeah.
board.
Yeah, but it's crazy. And we talked about this before in these heads up games. People are coming to the flop with such wide ranges that a lot
Definitely.
of the times, it's hard to make a pair. And you're not even likely to see a four flush get made in the same way that you are
Right.
in a multiplayer tournament. So it's very different,
And
very
then there's
different.
always bluff streeny opportunities, as they say,
That's right.
which
Well,
I
and
always
that's
like.
true. And as people have weaker ranges post flop, right?
Yeah.
The more weakness that you reveal to your opponents, the more opportunities they have to pull the trigger. So
Yeah.
now
There was one.
these
Oh,
two
go ahead.
players, they both seem to be playing kind of small ball,
They
small
do.
bets,
Yeah.
pretty value heavy bets. So I think when I see that, it makes me feel like it's going to take a bit of a setup deck for someone to get it in bad. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. I like seeing Joe mix it up a little bit, like doing the two, then doing the 2.1, 2.2, kind of mixing it up a bit with the pre-flop sizing. So,
Mm. Uh, just before we get all wrapped up on our sort of front end info dump here, I also want to mention it's Thursday, March 14th today, MaREC 14th, I should say. And if you're around next Tuesday, we're actually not having MaREC Madness next Tuesday, but we are having our book study on Tuesday, March 19th at 7:30 Eastern. That's open to all our premium members. And we're going to be joined by Alex Assassinato Fitzgerald himself for that one. So we're going to get a chance to ask Alex some questions about his book and all sorts of things to do with poker. He's always so generous with his time and information. That's going to be a great time. And then the following 2 weeks is when we'll be wrapping up this MaREC Madness. That'll be March 26th and April 2nd. That'll be the round three, and then the semifinals and the finals. We'll find out who the heads up champion of 2024 will be here in MaREC Madness. So I'm
ooh,
excited for that.
that'll be exciting.
And we've got
And we got Joey Ingram is still in, is he not? Do we
he
still got
is.
Joey Ingram still in
Yeah,
there? Poppy
Joey
himself?
won. He won his first round last week against Jasper Jr., Pat Barry. Now let's talk about setup decks. I don't know if you were able to watch, but
I
that
missed
was
that one because
there
Kim's
were
was such a
whoa.
long battle that by the end of it, I was like, I'm trying to hang on because I want to see Joey play, but then I crashed out.
Well,
So
you'll have to check it out on the YouTube channel. That one's available. And anyone else, if you want to watch Joey Ingram take on one of our rec poker qualifiers, Pat Barry won his way in from winning one of our quarterly qualifiers for that event. So yeah, you can go check that out. Just look for Rec Poker over on YouTube, and we have a whole playlist of MaREC Madness videos that you'll get a kick out of. But yeah, very cool. So he's still in it. He advanced to round two. You'll probably be watching his action on the 26th, March 26th. That'll be Joey's next match. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun one.
you see Joe has a little bit of a chip lead here over Roger now with 81 bigs.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's just been
And that's
steady, just a slow, steady, small pots. Not seeing a crazy amount of raises. And as I
yeah.
say
Well, these are both.
it, Joe puts
These
in
are
a
very.
raise.
These are very methodical players. Like these two, they're not going to put a foot out of line without good reason. And they both have. This is such an interesting board. Like
Yeah, the snap. I see. Joe's in the chat. He was saying about the snap fold. We missed it. We kind of skimmed over it when we were talking there, but I was surprised. Joe made such a quick fold with the set there and didn't think about it
Mm.
more, especially with four to a flush, even with four to a flush on the board, because you still have extra outs and such.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Because you do have that. There is always that redraw
the
to the
redraw.
full
Yeah,
house,
but
but it looked like a savvy fold to
yeah,
me. And that's you must have sniffed him out. You got a sense of that's one of the things that's fun about playing on poker now. If folks don't know, poker now is a free platform. You can go and play with your friends, and we've used them in our training material for a long time. And you can sort of see, you can use your camera and your mic, you can chat with each other while you're playing. It's a lot of fun. So that's always a nice little perk. Maybe he might have picked something up on the picked up a tell.
yeah, maybe.
Soul read
Queen,
the deck, he says. That's right.
so
Nice deck
so
read.
read the deck. Yeah, this is an interesting one here with the three eights on the board.
Mm-hmm. And then just the perfect
The
river
Queen
for Joe
Jack looks
again.
so nice. Even on the
Yeah.
turn, I'm still liking it.
Well,
But
even here, Queen High is a very strong
it's
hand. Like
pretty
we were
good,
talking
yeah.
about heads up. Like if Joe makes a small bet here, it wouldn't surprise me if Roger calls him because it's a bluffy, it's a good spot to bluff. And when we get heads up, King High and Queen High, that really those become very elevated. And if Joe was bluffing, oh yeah, see, there you go. Picks it up.
Yeah.
Now he was ahead this time, but I like that heart from Roger.
Yeah, not giving up easily there.
Yeah, sorry. I see some comments in the chat here, having some fun with it. Yeah, Joe, I think we gave you a lot of love when we were looking at that yesterday or on Tuesday, unfortunately, before the whole system crashed out. So we might have glossed over it this time, but it wasn't for lack of love, I promise. So this is I mentioned MaREC Madness, our tournament in March that we call MaREC that gets ripped off by NCAA with their own bracket style ladder tournament. But we've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years, so I don't know. Feel like we got here first.
Yeah, I can't believe they
Uh,
they copied us.
rude, rude. But if folks want to find
Unbelievable.
out more about what we're doing with it, you can just go to rec.poker/marec. We do this every year. There's ways to win your way in through quarterly qualifiers on certain days throughout the year, and you can also win your way in our annual Player of the Year race. And it's a lot of fun. And like I say, you can find out more at rec.poker/marec. All right, I think those are all the announcements, man. We are caught
You're
up.
clear. I will
We're
plug that I am streaming the home game on Saturday and
yeah,
Friday. I'll be streaming tomorrow. We'll have some tunes and we'll be hanging out. So
that's beautiful. Ben is out there most Fridays and Saturdays, streaming in the home game and in his other assorted matches that he's got lined up. Ben, we didn't get a chance to really do much of an intro this week, but why don't you share your Twitch address and anywhere else that people can come and find you?
yeah, so it's BJM 96 over on Twitch, and you can see me in the chat there. I just threw a couple emotes in the chat, so you can just click on my name and drop a follow there, and you can see us live.
Yeah,
Like
there
Jim
you
said,
go.
for most Fridays and Saturdays. So,
And he has
and
a great
mostly
time.
playing
It's
on
super
GG,
fun.
playing on GG, playing on Poker Stars a lot. So, and of course the home games, which are very important right now to me.
He's a man on a mission.
I
You're a
am. I
man on a
am.
mission.
We didn't talk about that last week either. So
Right. And so we've got a couple minutes here. I think you've made a goal of winning 21 home
yeah,
games this year.
21. Yeah. So everyone's questioned the number. The number was because I had 19 to start the year, and I want to get to 50. So and
Nice,
21
nice.
blackjack is a pretty good number. So
Well, that's super exciting, man.
yeah.
Um, that's amazing. So you're And you were on pace, like you started the year off strong.
It
It's a
was
hard one to stay up to, but
March has been shaky. We've had a
yeah.
shaky March, so yeah. But no, it's been going good. March is like I say, March has been a challenge. January was a little bit shaky. We had a good February, so
Yeah,
looking forward to keeping battling in there. And there's a lot of familiar faces once you get playing in there, and lots of friendly people in the chat and stuff that you don't find, in most online poker games. So it's been good.
that's great, man. We'll keep it up. I know it's a super fun time, and if you're watching at home, go give BGM and 96 a follow there. So this is about where we lost it
Yeah,
last
this
time, I
is.
think, and I remember this was a crazy
Yeah, this is the set.
situation here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
I like
more four
the
flush boards again.
we're seeing players make some really savvy moves here. The yeah, there's some math comments in the Twitch chat. I don't know if we
It's 40, not 50. Oh, wait a
yeah,
minute.
that's right.
Did I mess that up?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe you
Well,
had
you know what?
29 or if you had 19 or uh
If it's still 21 and I get to 40, I will still be really happy with getting
that
40 wins by the end of the year. How does that sound?
that sounds fantastic.
No, I had
Yeah,
20, I had 29 wins. The math
that's
there
what it
was,
is.
yeah.
That's what
My
it is.
math
That
was a
makes
little
more
wrong. I
sense.
spoke wrong. I had 29, which is
Yeah.
hard to believe even for me. Like I'm like, how do I have 29 wins? Like it's like crazy to me that it's hard to believe that I've won that many times. But
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, you're a sharp player and you've been doing it for a while, so I'm not
yeah,
surprised. All right, so now here we are. We're back
yeah,
in the action. Um, so Joe has developed quite a chip lead
yeah,
now.
he has. He's got quite a lead.
He's up over 2-1. And as
He's
we're
chugging
heading
away here. He's
into,
still opening quite a few hands. We're
yep.
still seeing the smaller pots, a lot of checks. I'm surprised
Mm-hmm.
to see a check here. Rogers top pair, but we might see some betting here on the turn. Well, I think I'm a little behind.
I think, yeah. Uh, well, I'm looking at
No
Roger
bet.
about to open here, I think.
Okay.
We'll see. King Jack, he's thinking of okay, just the min open there is what it is. And now we get Joe looking down at Queen Seven of Hearts. I think he will open this one. And yeah, you mentioned earlier, Ben, he had been varying his open size.
Yeah, I like seeing the 2.2s and then the 2.1s.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're shorter though, I think we can, for me personally, when I see, 30 bigs, I like to go two, but the 2.1 or just over is still good.
Here we have ooh, pair. So Roger is still playing very cagily out of position here. I wonder if we'll get a value bet from Joe. Let's see if we get a bet from Roger here. 2.67 he comes out with. Quick call from Joe. And yeah, that river just handcuffed him, I think. You
Yeah,
have to
that
call
queen,
there. You
yeah,
have
you
to.
can't get away from it.
Yeah. All right.
Especially on the paired board, it's tough to
Great point.
yeah, it's hard because you don't really put them on a 10 there very often, so.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, how when you're playing heads up like this, every hands that you have is promoted in strength.
Mhm.
Your pairs are huge, your high cards are more valuable than they would be otherwise. I think all this we're a full Canadian panelist crew tonight. I hadn't thought about
Oh,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah, that is true.
the
I never
takeover
thought
is
about that.
official.
Yeah.
No, we're really in it now. You and me, buddy. We're
Yeah,
running
let's
things.
do
Get
it.
get
Yeah.
get the maple syrup
Keep
out.
the red and white going.
So almost exactly a 2-1 chip lead for Joe. Um, the structures for this are very generous. So the no one's like getting desperate yet. But it definitely is nice to have those extra trips so you can absorb a bad beat or just
Yeah.
losing a flip without giving up, your place in the tournament. Now we see Joe thinking about
Hmm.
the lead here.
Yeah, this is kind of sweetens the pot for him a little bit, this Queen of Spades.
Yeah, he gets a bit more of a draw, and the Roger decides to fire the turn. I'm kind of surprised he
Hmm.
didn't bet the flop there, but he may have been like laying the trap a little bit. But I think it cost him a street of value. I
Yeah, it
think if
might
Roger
have.
had bet, if he had bet flop, he probably could have gotten called on flop and turn.
Kind of have an interesting hand there. Let's see. It might turn the tide a little bit. Start getting
Mm.
a little bit of confidence back.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, you
Just to
start.
like change the momentum of the match,
Hmm.
right?
Of course, we got the master poker face from both these players, so they're not going to show us anything on camera, but
It's very reserved.
yeah.
I love our Twitch chatters. They
Yeah,
know
it
how to
is
have a
fun.
good
Definitely
time.
recommend getting in there. It's fun to have a few people in,
They know
sweating
how
the
to have a
action.
good time. Yeah, that's right. And if you're enjoying yourself on the Twitch chat, you'd really enjoy our Monday night podcasts on YouTube. We do those live every Monday at 7:30 Eastern with a different guest every week, and it's always a fun time. And we give away prizes there too. So if you like showing up for free and watching poker stuff for free and winning prizes for free, I would recommend you give it a try. So boards like this, it
Yeah,
often
this is
just comes
where,
down to like
yeah,
who
who
bets
wants it?
first. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's true for a
Ooh.
lot of heads up play. And these guys aren't they're not fighting enough, I don't think.
I
They're
know.
I want to see more just taking it away because that's the thing. You're gonna find that usually your opponent has a weak hand. Now we know Roger feels like Queen High is a relatively strong hand because he called with it on that
Hmm.
pair on that triple board earlier. Let's see what
No clubs on the turn for Joe, but
right.
be interested to start. Again, it's another one of these situations where who wants it more, but he does just go for the check.
And Roger, yeah, good. I love that.
Make a
He's this
pair.
is partly a value bet, partly like a protection bet,
Yeah,
denying equity to his opponent.
you got a little piece now.
Yeah, it
Just a
takes it down.
fold,
Plus,
just
when your
folds.
opponent shows weakness twice like that, they're probably not going to have you beat. Maybe you can get them to call on a draw or something. Another one of these hard to hit boards, these monochrome
Yeah,
boards and paired boards. And
ace
I
five
think you
O and
can.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I was just thinking about the back doors that Joe has here. I think he would probably make
Mm,
a bet at this, but again,
mm-hmm,
Queen High, like you were saying
mm-hmm,
earlier, not going to give up very easily.
mm-hmm. And Joe does pick up a little equity with that five for his backdoor straight, but when facing a bet, just decides. And those
Nice
are
way
they're
down, yeah.
like they're bluffing candidates is the way to think about those
Hmm.
kind of draws. So they're not good calls, but they're so it's a good fold in that case. But they're better as bets or raises yourself.
Joe's coming with the raise here to 2.1 with the threes. I want to see how he proceeds here.
Hmm. It's a
Paired
pretty good
board.
board.
Yeah, two
Three.
big hands here.
I wonder if he's sometimes we kind of psychologically do that. He's got pocket threes and bets 3.33. I'd love that.
Yeah.
I think Joe is I'd like to get inside that head. So now we're behind.
Ooh, yeah.
And I expect Roger is going to make a small bet here. I'd love to see him, but yeah, perfect. Perfect. Puts Joe in a very difficult spot. Very good fold by Joe. That's
Yeah,
impressive. That's impressive.
I'm
So those pairs are
surprised
hard
there.
to
That
make.
is that is surprising.
He's got to tell. Like he's got to
Yeah.
tell. And now it's Roger's turn with the threes.
I'm surprised he didn't go for it on the turn in that hand. With the threes there,
Mm.
we don't go for another bet.
Hmm. Here we get the check call from Roger, which I like.
Check call. We like the king on the turn as well.
So if Joe bets again, I would expect I like the chat, Chris
Yeah,
saying, yeah,
the
10,
chat
ten
is
point
great
eight big
tonight.
blind. You guys are having fun.
Yeah.
That's
He
awesome.
doesn't
Oh
bet
man,
10.8, but
the rivers are taking it away here.
ooh,
Everybody's
wow.
so Roger's been he's playing this perfectly. He's in check call mode here. Oh, now he goes for the bet fold. Okay. That's a nice little blocker bet.
Mm,
All right, these guys, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I love that. Blocker bet from
yeah.
Roger. Uh and Joe correctly
Getting the quick call,
just
yeah.
calls. And
Unfortunately there.
you know, you can't really raise in Joe's position, so it's a nice strategic blocker bet from Roger. And you can see they're talking about it now, maybe discussing sizing or something like that.
Yeah.
So Roger's been sticking to that 2x open, and we might see something
Yeah,
here
we'll
if
see if they change it up at all. I'd imagine we'll see a lot more of the 2x as they start getting shorter. Maybe we'll see some more limps.
Yes, I think so. As the stacks get shorter, I can't stop laughing at the chat in the Twitch stream there. So Joe's taking the passive line here with his flush draw. So he's gone check call, check call. Roger's been value
Move here
betting
now.
with second pair and should continue.
This
Um,
kind of these pots are getting more important too now. We see quite a few
mhm.
chips in the pot compared to the stacks.
Good point. Good point. That's another aspect of the stacks getting smaller as the SPR goes down. Um, and yeah, Joe still has a bit of a chip lead, but it's not the same. It's not like he's twice his stack as he was before. Like the bet from Joe in position. You're going to be betting a lot on that board, but that's a good hand to have in that betting range for sure.
Yeah, these monotone flops.
Hmm.
We got kicker troubles though, and still an overcard that we have to worry about.
Yep.
We still feel all right though, middle pair.
Yeah, I think so. And
Ace to check,
Rogers
yeah.
with his five, he's really he's going for the
The
same kind
small,
of
yeah.
blocker bet there. Yeah. And the idea there is that if you think your opponent's gonna value bet a larger sizing, then you can block that by betting a smaller size. Usually you're gonna get to showdown anyway. That way you get to choose the size of the bet. And you can comfortably fold to a raise is typically the way
Yes,
it
that's
works.
what I
You're gonna
was,
choose
yeah.
hands that can comfortably fold to a raise. But of course you have to be balanced, so you have to have some little monsters in there.
Yeah. Some sneaky sets in the mix.
So big advantage to Joe here with top pair, but it's a very scary
Yeah,
board. And
this could go either way here going to a river.
we've had a lot of hands where they've each had one pair. And so they've been kind of jockeying for, who's going to win the bigger pot, who's going to lose the smaller pot
Yeah.
when both players make one pair.
That ton of clubs really shut it down on the river though with the flush draw
Yeah.
coming in. Both of them were
Another monotone flop. Holy cow. And neither one of them have any piece of it. So I expect a
no.
small bet from Joe will end the hand here. That's typically how this goes. And you don't need to make it a big one. Yeah, he's even still just betting one big blind. And you can
Yeah, I
see the
like
kind
that one
of,
big blind bet.
me too, that's very savvy. don't tell anyone, Ben, but every time I'm in position and I see a monotone flop, I make a small bet no matter what's in my hand. Don't tell anybody. Just between you and
All
me, but
right,
people tend to
I'll keep it a
overfold.
secret. I'll keep
Thanks,
between
pal.
us.
Thanks, buddy.
You can
I
always
appreciate
rely
you.
on me.
I know I can.
I'm gonna start doing it now if you're all right with that, though.
Please do. Please do. It prints. It prints. People overfold. And when
Well,
they don't, you've only lost a small bet. No, I love this. I love
yeah,
this. Check raise the open-ended straight draw. Mm,
this is an awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah. Plus
Beautiful,
the back
especially with
doors as
those.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
And that looked a cheeky diamond too to give you a little more confidence.
Oh boy. Now they both have a jack. Joe's got
Ooh,
top and
yeah.
bottom.
Top and bottom.
But that monotone, I think,
I
will slow
know.
things down. So he should bet here again. He knows what that small bet can do. Now, I noticed this bet's a little bigger. It was one big blind when he was straight bluffing, and it was
Now we're getting
2.43
the
when he had two
2.5.
pair. So that's something. Take note.
Gets the
Um,
call though, and
yeah,
really
and we'll
innocent
get.
looking turn for the Queen Jack.
Oh, yeah. I thought Joe might bet the turn there and then check back the river, but
Yeah.
he's checking. And now the draw doesn't go. Oh, we see that other bet. Yep. So it's very interesting to see this dynamic um play out between the betting styles. Well, so after a few of those bigger pots, like you were talking about, now we can see
Yeah, real big
uh
difference.
a real big difference in the stacks again. Roger's gonna
Yeah.
have to start getting frisky.
When you only have 30
Um,
bigs and then you lose a couple of those, 8, 9, 10 big blind pots, they really eat
oh
at you.
yeah.
And then if you get a level jump, then you can be in some
Yeah.
in some trouble.
Yeah, the level jump makes a big difference.
Definitely.
For sure. And now they've both got an eight, but Roger's got the queen to go with it. So I think he's going to win this one. Can he get some value? Love to see a value bet here with two pair. Good, good, good. I don't think he'll get called by an eight, but he probably gets called by a queen.
Yeah, I think Joe
Um, yeah, I like that.
finds the
I think they
fold.
both played that very well. Oh man, Roger keeps getting these setup hands where
Yeah, he's battling
you
back.
know, Joe, yeah, Joe
He's
makes
not
a
giving up.
pair of nines. He makes a pair of fives. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, and I think we will get the call. I don't know. Joe has so many chips. He might. Yeah, I was gonna say he might just pass on this,
Mm.
and pick a better spot. Okay, but surely now there's no way this hand is not going to be the last hand. We should see a three
Oh
bet from
yeah.
Joe. He doesn't have to shove, but I can see a shove here too. Oh, he just calls. You dirty dog.
Wow.
Sneaky,
Sneaky with the ace
dirty
jack.
dog.
He's
And
seeing
he
through the cards.
he is a
Oh my
deck reader. He's
goodness.
got the deck read. Here's the check, and let's see. Two big blinds from Roger. And do we just smooth call here?
I think another smooth call would be in
We,
order.
we don't have to protect against
We
a
don't. This
lot.
is such a
Oh,
dry board.
he goes for it. Yep.
He does go for it.
And I think Roger, I think he's because he has so few chips, I think he might fold. I could see him shoving here, though, to be honest with you. You got two overs, you got some fold equity. Well, you don't have that much fold equity really by the time you pay the
Yeah.
4.1. Yeah. Joe, I think you let him off the hook there. He had so few chips. Maybe if you had maybe
I've done
although
that
it's easy for
before.
us to say.
I've
It's easy
I've
for us
done
to
that
say.
before. When you have a big chip lead and you get that close, you really want to just finish it off and you get a big
Yeah.
flop like that and you're thinking, please just have a piece so I can,
Yeah,
put the
yeah.
final dagger in, right?
That's right.
Really
That's
finish it.
right.
But sometimes we can be a little too greedy when
Another just a brutal spot
wow.
for Roger. He's got ace king, Joe's got ace six, and we see the six on the flop. I think
This is
Joe's gonna call here. He's got second pair, top kicker. He doesn't want to
you gotta
double up his
wonder.
opponent, but no, I think that's the right call. I think that's the right call. Now let's see. Oh boy. And that is unfortunately how it ends for Roger Schutte, but
Wow.
congratulations to Joe Cool, PhD, Joe Coolis.
Good
A
game.
great
Both.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really what
Uh,
I expected. I'm really surprised by some of the hands and stuff like that, and a lot of really interesting boards though to be to be fair. A lot of
Yes.
really kind of ones that I'm not sure how I would have played really in a couple of those spots. So
Yep. Good game to both competitors. Joe Coolis will continue, and he'll head on to round two. Our next match is Kathy Chang versus Taylor Moss himself. And we'll get into that in just a second. And then, like I mentioned, Ron versus Rob, Chris versus John. Looking forward to that. So Kathy versus Taylor. So Kathy Chang is a fantastic live poker player. She's very fond of mixed games, and she's quite an accomplished player. She lives down in Vegas, and she plays quite a bit. I recommend people follow her on Twitter, and she's an avid participant in our home game club, where she goes by her Aces 54320. Taylor Moss, you're no doubt familiar with. He he streams his play in the twitch.tv/rec poker channel every Wednesday night. And he is also the mastermind and the genius behind MaREC Madness. You'll be seeing him in the booth for the next couple of weeks. He's playing tonight, so he couldn't join us. But congratulations my hats off to Taylor for the work that he does to put all this together year after year. He's been one of the core team members here at Rec Poker for a long time. So it's him versus Kathy. We didn't see a 9 of spades in that last winning hand, but start getting your guesses in now. Poker Geek MN is way ahead of us to get your winning hand guesses in now and see if someone wins a prize. I see Poker Geek MN. That's John Somsky. We're going to be seeing him playing later today. He has a strategy of guessing the winning hand from the previous match. So
oh
he's
yeah, I
coming
think I
in
seen
there.
that. I think I seen that last week. That was pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the strategy aspect to it. It's good.
Yeah, he's you can't take the gambler out of the poker player. All right, so here we go. We were
Yeah,
saying we've
we're
got
into it.
Taylor in the top left and Kathy in the bottom right. Taylor gets first blood, and we'll start
Yeah.
just up.
Kathy, I played last year actually in my first round and she took me
Ah,
out in short order. And
yeah.
yeah, Mr.
Well,
Taylor Moss. So lots of history with these two.
nice. Yeah. Well, she's a fantastic player, and she actually even contributed to our mixed game podcast series that's going on all year to lend some expertise and tips on how to
Yeah.
play
I think
a
she's
few mixed
playing quite a
games.
few mixed games down in Vegas, I believe, from
I
what I
see
see
that.
from her Twitter,
Yeah.
which is always good to see. Taylor with the flush here.
Hmm. And he did just check call that flop. So he's playing it nice and slow. Here comes the value bet, and
Value bet
unfortunately,
and the quick
Kathy
fold. Didn't have
just
anything
didn't
to
have anything
work
to.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Unfortunately. Now these are two very so Joe and
Yeah.
Roger in the previous match. I think they were playing more of like a small ball game. Kathy and Taylor have a lot of experience in shorthanded play as well, and so I expect that we're gonna see wider, more aggressive ranges, more three bets
Yeah,
pre-flop, more
definitely.
raises post-flop, bigger sizing. So I'm kind of interested to see that dynamic
Even
develop
now with
here.
the 9-4, Taylor opens. We get the call from Kathy,
Yeah.
and she flops really well here. Turn and river aren't the best, but
No, but she is still ahead
she
and puts out
she is gonna go
that
for it.
bet.
Little value, quick fold.
Taylor correctly folds. So we'll see. I'll be curious to see what their opening strategies are
Yeah, just seen
as the
two big
stack depths go
blinds.
down.
Yeah, just seen two big blinds so far.
That is textbook. Um, I know once stacks get shorter, you can start limping more.
Yeah, I like mixing in some 2.2, some 2.1, but with the 70, you can't just do two. I just like being fancy. Not as
It
fancy as
was
Joe with the 2.08 or the 3.33. That
that
was
was
pretty,
very
that
fancy.
was very high level.
That was extremely fancy. So interesting
This is
spot
interesting.
here.
Yeah, they both have a gutter.
They both have
Kathy's
a
got
pair.
a pair.
So we'll see. This could be a raise from Taylor, even though with the no, just makes a lot of
Just a
sense.
call.
I like the call with the ace on the
Yeah,
board there. You
top
can't be too.
pair. A little bit of
Yeah.
kicker troubles, and with the gut
And
shot
it
too, we're feeling pretty
gets
good.
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always excited when both players are sharing a draw like that. I just want it to come in so everyone can get
So we
excited.
can sing?
Put the chips in.
You want to sing? We need you
Oh
to do the
yeah,
singing
yeah, that's
again.
right. I want to sing the chop song. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. No,
I
I
want.
haven't been warming up. I haven't warmed up with
Oh,
my
you haven't
scales
warmed up
early.
at all. Okay.
No, sorry. I don't want
You'll have to come
WSIB
to the stream
come for me if I
tomorrow
don't.
and sing some of the songs that we have on the
That
stream.
sounds fun. That sounds
I've been
fun.
debating on
You
doing like an all Canadian rock
mm,
playlist.
yep,
There's a
yep.
little tease. So I'm
There's
thinking about it because
a lot of good numbers out there
yeah.
available. I'd tune in. I'd bring my jar of maple syrup and have a few sips while we were celebrating.
Taylor three bets the ace deuce and takes it down. Yeah, no, it's there's I would say probably 65% of my music already is probably Canadian artists, I'd say.
Wow, that's great. So I think
Usually
we'll
see.
get a
Oh
three
yeah,
bet from
another three
Kathy.
bet.
Yep.
Yep.
And she
Yep.
comes in. So we are seeing more of those already. And you know, poker is a game of aggression,
Hmm.
not, controlled aggression, but you generally want to be the person making the bets and raises, not the person calling them. So these two are gonna throw some chips around, I think. And you can see Taylor's opening, virtually
Yeah,
100%.
quite a wide
Um,
range of pretty
yeah,
much everything. Yeah.
which I think is right in this heads up dynamic. You're going to be in position on every street,
Hmm.
and you're deep enough that you can build some pots and play them in position. That's valuable.
Kathy's got a piece here. We see a small bet and a quick fold. Taylor didn't
Mm-hmm.
connect in any way, so just check folding there.
We'll see if Kathy, yep, similarly wide ranges, 2x, and just going to play that position for all it's
Usually
worth
kind of don't
here.
mind a three bet with the king four suited occasionally,
Mm-hmm.
especially if we know somebody's
It's a
opening a
great
wide
point.
range.
Great point. It is a
We
good
block the pocket
candidate.
kings, pocket fours, and we have a good hand to take post flop. But we are going to be out of position, so.
Mm-hmm. And he
But
goes for the check
oh
raise
yeah, he
instead, and he's
just
got
check
back.
raises board.
And I
Yeah,
like this. This is a backdoor
nice.
straight, backdoor flush, but not so much equity that you're worried about, and an overcard, and like that matters a
Yeah,
lot. So you have a lot of opportunities to continue. Great choice, and you don't mind folding if you get shoved over. That's why
definitely. Yeah,
those double backdoors, some of those, um, they make for good candidates for that.
he found the aggression. He just didn't. It was just on a different street. That's all.
Yeah, right. Good point. Good
Yeah,
point. You were talking about him three betting. He's like, no, I'm going to save that for the flop.
yeah. I'll save that. I'll save that post flop. Yeah.
So tiny bet here will get called from Kathy. And I was going to say, I think we'll get, no, this is a value bet here.
Small value
And
bet. Yeah.
Kathy's holding on with her threes there. Like we were talking about earlier, Taylor's going to be firing a lot of bluffs that have to continue if they want to proceed on the flush draw there when it doesn't come in. And I think these players also know each other, are very experienced and aggressive players, which means that you have to start bluff catching a lot lighter and more often, right?
Yeah,
So there's this
definitely.
sort of metagame dynamic.
Yeah, both these players, when I see them at my home game table, I kind of shudder a little bit because I know I'm going to have a tough night.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, and we were talking about sort of playing a lot of hands in position. And when the big blind only has to defend one big blind, it means they're going to be defending really wide too. So that's sort of why everyone gets here so wide. I wonder if we'll get a check raise
I was
from
just
Taylor
thinking that.
here.
You beat me to it, but he just calls and gets there.
So, and the tricky part about these low flushes is you really don't want to see that fourth flush. or that fourth flush card rather. I mean, you don't really want to see the board pair,
No, I was gonna say
but
not don't want to see this either, but we're still feeling good, I think. Because now we
yeah,
can get
heads up,
value. We
you're
can
not
definitely
nearly
get
as worried.
value from a
Yeah,
king now.
yeah,
The
king and
ace is
ace.
gonna have a hard time folding.
Yeah,
So
I like that. You will. So I expect we'll just see a ton of these 2x opens, and then it looks like they're both three betting almost every ace, which makes a lot of sense. It's got blocker value. Um, Obviously, when you get called, you're ahead a lot.
mhm.
Good candidates, and they
I
still
like
have
this
a
hand. I got a
ton of
little
chips.
soft spot for king eight suited. Nice
King eight
flop.
suited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flops well for it. If it flopped like that every time, I'd have a soft spot for it too.
You have a hard time at king 10, so king eight, I guess, is gonna be a
Well, the problem with King 10 is that you think it's a decent hand when it's not. That's the
right.
real problem. Okay, Taylor's got his favorite hand here. Is he just going to open fold?
Oh,
He really should. If he wants to be a G, he should just fold. Oh, no, he has to play it.
I'm rooting for Chris Jones to take this down this year. So I was gonna say three bet.
We do have a guess for five pocket fives being the winning hand. That is one of the guesses in the Twitch chat. Ben, I'll give you one guess as to
I can't imagine
who could it
I
be?
it's a
Who
mystery,
could it
really.
be? It's
I
a
would say
mystery.
we should probably ban them immediately from the stream.
Taylor, Taylor agrees.
Ban hammer.
Taylor Taylor agrees. Oh man, so
Oh,
everyone just
and then
watched
we just watched
Taylor
him
win a hand on
with.
TV with pocket fives. Gross. Gross, he said, I'm sure.
We're getting
Oh, I love the chatters. So much
See,
fun in
with
the
me
chat.
when I play on stream, usually I'm multi-tabling. So when I have pocket fives, I can just go to a different table so that nobody sees that I have pocket fives, and I can just play them, and nobody
That's
actually
funny.
sees it.
That's awesome.
10 on the river here. This is kind of a
Hmm.
interesting hand. We
Hmm.
do see Kathy.
They both had a club the whole time,
Yeah,
so I'm kind of, oh
Kathy
yeah,
going
there we
for the
go.
bluff.
Yep. I like it. I like it.
Taylor has got a commanding chip lead now after that pot.
Hmm. Hmm. But kudos to Kathy for pulling the trigger there, and she still has plenty of room to maneuver here.
Definitely. I
I
had a
think these
little
blinds are
nervous three betting. Non all in three bets are going to be a little tricky off this stack, but
yes,
we might just
great
have
point.
to push the envelope to try and get back in the match. But like you say, 23 big blinds, still plenty of room. We don't have to
Oh
really
yeah.
sweat anything.
And
Sometimes
at
when I
this
get this short in these matches, I can feel myself like the anxiety, like, ah, but you just gotta remain calm and level headed and
yeah,
keep playing your game.
discipline is really your best friend in these, especially when you're deep enough to not have to punt it off. Like honestly, those that just being able to take deep breaths and remain focused and pick your spots. I think that's as big a skill as any when it comes to this kind of dynamic. And I think when they're opening to 2x, you can still three bet to like six, 6 or 7, even though you're going to be out of position. So it's a big chunk of her
Yeah.
chips, but like you're right, she basically has like one more three bet round
Yeah.
available before it's shove time.
I think we could sneak in like a 5.5 or,
Yeah.
something like that. That's kind of a nice little
Hmm.
non-all-in three bet to put in the mix. But once we start hitting 6.5, we're putting in a lot of our stack. I know it's like nitpicky and people would probably be,
No, it
oh no, like
matters.
you know what
It
I mean? But it
matters.
does like in the long term.
Yep. And that's what we're playing. We're playing the long term.
Long game, yeah.
Now, Kathy's kind of repping strength here. She didn't bet the flop, which makes it less likely
Ooh.
that she actually has a 10, I think.
Yeah, this is a
And
really great river though.
hmm
especially when we have 7 high. We're just gonna have to go for it and hope we can get a fold. But
And
this is
she
a great this is
does.
a great river though.
A tough spot for Taylor with a pair of fours on ace 10 10 4 2. It's getting about a half a pot
Yeah,
size
and I
bet.
like this sizing too. And
Yeah, yeah.
he gets it done. That is
It looks
awesome.
value-y, right? It looks like
Wow, that
value.
was a sweet bluff.
Yep.
Love to see
Kathy
it.
Chang gets
Yeah,
one through.
some spirit.
That's right.
My
And
favorite
there's the,
hand.
yep, yep. And nice fold by Taylor there. And now there's a little more breathing room. Now that we're up
Yeah,
at
now we can
35,
relax
you
a little
still
bit.
can't be like, because the three bets can be small, I think that gives you a little more room
Hmm.
to do it, but those blinds are going to go up again. And when you're playing heads up, you're playing every hand. So the blinds come by very quickly. Like if you can't just fold your way
Yeah,
to a good hand, you have to play a lot of these hands. You have to kind of wring all the EV out of them that you can. So um, the stacks are a lot more dynamic than in full ring, multi-handed.
we know Taylor's not folding this now.
No, he's definitely not now. Should go for a small raise here, honestly. It's just so hard to have a hand
Yeah,
stronger than three threes here. I'd expect, yeah, there it
yeah,
is.
it's a big, decent
And
size raise here and a quick
yeah,
fold.
pretty chunky. So, and he's gonna do that with his bluffs too, like his
Hmm.
heart draws that miss and that kind of thing. So I think the sizing there makes a lot of sense. And yeah, Kathy's, I love that she's just firing with these sub premium hands because we're like we were talking about before, the equities run a
Yeah,
lot
so
closer
close.
together
Hmm.
heads up like this.
It can be so easy to fall into a trap of, not, losing that mindset and then falling out of the groove and then having to get back in it. It's just like you're always in that. I am anyways when I play heads up. Heads up's really tough.
Hmm.
I'd say heads up, like, heads up is probably the toughest format out of, the full ring and
Hmm.
everything like that, as far as no limit hold'em games go.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I agree. There's that smaller three bet we were just seeing.
Yeah,
That one, she went to
exactly. Yeah.
five.
She went
Yep.
to
And you
five
can
that
see
time. Yeah.
you can still apply a lot of
Yeah.
pressure and get folds. We're at about a 2 to 1, a little no, a little more than a 2 to 1 chip stack for
Ooh, this
Taylor at
is
this
a
point.
really interesting flop here.
Taylor's got the open-ended, and Kathy's got second pair top kicker. Definitely going to bet this one. I like the sizing, 3 into
Hmm.
4.2. It's big enough. Taylor might consider just calling here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
and as the smaller the size, the more hands you get to check raise with,
Hmm.
the larger the size of the bet, that disinclines you to be check raising as much. So if you're getting the right odds to call, sometimes those end up just being calls instead. This one, with only one card to come, paired board.
Yeah,
All right, goes for the call.
goes for the
That one I
call.
thought you could also represent that three there with a raise because a
Hmm.
three is going to be in a
Yeah,
lot of your check calling range on the flop. Now Kathy's certain to bet. Oh, very value-y.
yeah,
Wants to get paid there. And unfortunately, Taylor just didn't have a hand, but I like the way she played that. Ooh.
yeah. This is a gut shot here.
I
Taylor with two
expect
pair
Taylor's gonna fire. That's a very wet board. Yeah.
goes for the two.
And then this one, I could see. I don't think we'll see a fold. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I could see a call or
A call. We wish we had a spade
yeah, it'd be great to
if
have a
I'm
spade.
Kathy.
And that doesn't really help Kathy's hand and
No, Taylor
Taylor.
is loving life. But he gets the bad news.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Kathy has enough chips that Taylor can't just take a street off when he makes a value hand. Like she's deep enough that he needs to build a pot on every street if he's
Yeah.
gonna get the last one in. So if she was much shorter, I think he probably might have checked that one back and tried to get some value on the river, but she's deep enough, he's got to go for value.
we've seen Taylor get a little bit of a lead, and now it's kind of evaporated a little bit, but he's still,
Hmm.
to what, 2-1, I guess.
Yeah,
Almost.
almost. But like we
Not quite
said,
as dominant as before.
no, Kathy, I think she was down to like 18 big blinds or something like that. And
Yeah.
she's been basically doubled up since then through small pots. She's got a hand now with pocket tens, and I'll see
Yeah,
if
this is a
Taylor,
nice hand on the button.
yeah, Taylor got a piece of it. The ace might slow it down, but I think we're still going to get a value bet from Kathy here. Kathy also knows that Taylor's been three betting. She doesn't know he's been three betting all his aces, but when your opponent doesn't three bet heads up like this, they are less likely to have an ace.
Wow, what a turn.
What a turn is right.
Action turn.
And it gives Taylor the open ender, even though there is a flush draw on the board, which I could see this. I could see an aggressive action here. Oh
Mm.
no, just
No, just
decides
to
that's
fold.
he's a
Yeah,
cool,
it's tough. I mean,
disciplined
we have the
dude.
straight draw. We're happy. We're open-ended, but we've seen a lot of aggression from our opponent. They're putting in a lot of chips. We're not as happy as what we would be if the action wasn't quite as aggressive, but
That although it's nice when we go into that check call line on the flop,
hmm
when it does come when the flush does come in, I think we can represent that.
yeah.
And I mean so can Kathy because she would have been, you expect she would have been c betting a lot of flush draws there. So it's a tricky spot. There we get that again. Some of these three bets from Taylor. I love to see those king six suited hands get
Yeah.
promoted into that three bet range. That's awesome. And here's Kathy with the
Ooh.
small one.
Wow, with the queen three.
Yeah. It's got blocking some of those queen hands. And it's another one that you can easily fold to a four bet.
Yeah.
So I like that. Now, this is a board I think Kathy has to follow with a three
Yeah,
better.
we gotta make a try at this. I
Yeah.
don't think
And then,
Taylor's gonna fold the one bet, but we have to
no,
try.
I expect he's going to call. I don't think he'll
Don't think he's
raise.
raised. Yeah, that's that's kind of where I
Yeah.
was going to. He does
And
his
then
call.
Kathy has to choose if
Yeah,
she's
we're gonna
how
barrel
far she wants
again.
to bluff with this.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
because if we gotta like for me, if I'm in this spot and there's 18 bigs in the pot, I'm thinking I'm bombing.
you
Like
yeah.
I want to get Taylor to fold. This is a really big important pot, but she goes with the
Well, and
six.
For Taylor, it's an easy decision because we know he's got an ace.
Right.
Um, I wonder. I wonder.
Does he go for value
It's
or
a
maybe
small. It's
this
a
one?
small. Her bluff is a small bluff on that turn. I don't know what
Yeah.
her target. I don't know what her target is for that bluff. This will just be a fold, I expect. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting hand though.
Hmm. I like
I
that.
probably would have given Taylor all my chips in that hand if I was playing.
So down to 20 bigs for Kathy, but she does have, like we say, plenty of room. Taylor's ahead here with the pair of fours, but can't feel great about his hand.
Does make the
But he
call.
just knows.
Button's
He
coming
knows.
in.
He knows. Uh, and
Check,
Kathy
check
just
here.
checks behind there. Yeah, that would have been a tough one to shove with the SPR the way it was.
That hand we didn't see that one.
Sweet revenge,
Yeah.
sweet revenge. Still have time to put your guesses in for the winning hand, folks. I see a few guesses in there: Ace 10, King Jack, Jack 10, 5 5, Ace 6 are the ones that are taken. That's right, Chris. He just lays it down like that. Let's see now. A limp from Taylor. So now that the effective stack is down to 14 big blinds, we're seeing Taylor
Yeah.
adopt a limping strategy. And I wonder if we'll see a call or a
I
raise
would
here. Oh yeah,
imagine
just
just a call
decides to
it is.
shove for it.
It just shoves, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you're just going to be shoving a lot. Like that's the kind of board that the in position player should be betting a lot. So we can be shoving a
Yeah.
lot.
Hmm.
And so we should shove with our
Very true.
value hands. And I'll see. I'm kind of curious to see what if Kathy stays at a low chip stack like this, if she starts limping as well or shoving. With 15 or 16, she opts to go for a 2x like she
Yeah, I
has
still see the
been.
two big blinds.
Well, this is kind of juicy. We got open-ended versus third pair. I wonder if she takes a spot here. There it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
she does.
And it's a great candidate. Those high equity, low showdown hands. Those are great candidates for
Hmm.
overbets. And as you can see, I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on anyone who's not holding an ace or a king right now. And it makes it happen. Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Something tells
Big
me
collision here.
this is gonna get all in pre-flop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here we go.
And yeah,
All
Taylor's never
in. Quick
folding.
call.
This could be the
Here we
last
go.
hand. Did we have pocket jacks in the
It
guess?
was pocket
I didn't
jacks, I
see
guess.
it. Let's see. Two outs for Kathy. Nope, and that will
That's
do
it.
it. Taylor Moss
Taylor Moss takes it down.
advances to round two. Great game by both players. That was very entertaining. We saw some really interesting
Yeah.
laydowns, good bluff opportunities, some really interesting sizes. You could tell that they were both familiar with what kinds of boards and runouts called for what kind of sizings. I liked seeing some of those over bets. I liked seeing some of those micro bets when it was called for. Two very experienced players.
Yeah, definitely an entertaining game. I really liked watching that. That was good.
Yeah. So next we've got Ron Payton versus Rob Washam. So Ron Payton is a regular player in our home game club. I believe he also won his way in. And Rob Washam runs our book study, another Wrecking Crew member. He runs our book study on the first and third Wednesdays of every month. And he'll be leading the conversation with Alex Fitzgerald next Tuesday on March 19th at 7:30 Eastern. If you want to come by and join us there, that's going to be a lot of fun. Rob's done pretty well in this in the past. I don't think he's won, but he's advanced before. Um, Rob Washam, mostly famous for St. Oswald's Day at Running Aces on our very first Rec Poker weekend on February 29th a few years ago. And he runs like Rob. He just runs like Rob
Runs like Rob. I
on
like it.
February 29th. So we'll see how he can do against Ron K. Poker wannabe Peyton. The matches that we've already covered, going back to last week, Monkey System, Keith Brandt was the victor against Eric Jin, goes by Com Binkley, two other fantastic Wrecking Crew members. Yourself, East Coast Bitter, was the victor against Joseph Wills, who goes by Hockey Poker 702. Another two fantastic Wrecking Crew members. We're lucky to have you guys on there. Kim Kilroy was the winner over Michael Babker. Kim's a longtime Wrecking Crew member. And Michael Babker is another one of these fantastic premium members who volunteers his time. He's been a great resource to us, basically stepping in to sort of be our technical director. And he's very involved with everything that we do here. So, Michael, I'm sorry that you couldn't take out Kim in that one, but she's a technician. She's just way too good at poker. But
Yeah,
it was
that was
fun to watch.
that was an incredible match. That's definitely one that sticks out for me because that was, yeah, they were back and forth. One of them had the lead, then the other had the lead, and then I think it went back again. So yeah,
Oh yeah, it
some
was all
entertaining
over.
poker. Yeah.
And finally, I know we're just going live here, but I just wanted to shout out again Jasper Jr., Pat Barry, who had, I mean, a really up and down match. Had a ton of made hands when Joey Ingram just had the nuts, and Joey stuck it out there. So you'll see Poppy advancing to round two as well. How much fun was that to have have the
Yeah.
big guy playing in MaREC Madness
I've been such a fan of
2024.
his for so many years, and to see him participating in something like this just gets me really excited because, yeah, I remember the Mike Postel stuff. That was like my
Right.
first, watching him for he's a god, watching hours of tape, and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a good, special place for Joey in my heart, in my poker heart. So. Because he
Awesome. Well,
kind
he
of got
seems
got me into it a little bit with that, just hours of Mike Postel video. So
I love it. Well, he seems to have a soft spot in his heart for rec poker as well. So we're glad to be collaborating with him on this, and I hope we can do some more stuff with Joey coming up. I have no doubt we will.
yeah.
So we got Ron Payton in the top left, our own Rob Washam in the bottom right, and Ron has taken a small lead over the first few hands. Um, Ben, do you know anything about these players' playing style? Do you have any predictions for how this is going to run out?
I don't know if I have any predictions per se. A lot of it has to do with cards and how we've seen that last match. They both picked up a big pair and got it in. So
Right.
always hard to say, who's gonna come out on top. But Rob, I actually we go way back to one of the first open playing hangs that we had. Me and him hung out and just chatted on Zoom for hours while I made a deep run. I think I got third or fourth that night. And yeah, another thing that kind of kicked me off with the whole poker thing. After that night, I was like, I should stream and have somebody just watch me all the time and hang out while I play. So that was kind of
Ah,
what led into the streaming thing. So
that's
yeah.
super cool. And
And then
Rob,
K
he is
Poker
a
Wannabe, I mean, we play together almost every single home game. Like
yeah.
I always have him at my table, always love seeing him. We battle a ton. He's picked me off a few times. I've picked him off. So yeah, it goes back and forth a lot there. So yeah, it's curious to see how this one's gonna play out.
That's awesome. Well, Rob gets what looks to be about max value on that one, clicking it back on the river. Rob likes to play the old man coffee image, but he knows how to get
He
those chips
knows,
in the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
He knows. And he's also because he's done all these book studies with us, I think he's one of our more studied wrecking crew members. Like he really grasps the theory of how this stuff goes and why we make the decisions we make. He's really good at ICM pressure and other kind of areas that you don't find yourself in very often because he's, led discussions of people through them in the book study. So
Hmm.
if I had to guess, I would give, I mean, they're both excellent players. I think I'm going to give Rob the slight advantage here. I am predicting a tight victory for Rob Washam. And then, yeah, I'll just remind our folks in the Twitch chat to get your guesses in for the winning hand as well. And of course, we're all rooting to see Ben's nine of spades. And that's not hyperbole. That's not slang. I'm actually talking about the nine of spades.
Yeah. We want to see it. I picked it because I like Phil Hellmuth's winning hand from way back when he was really young when he beat Johnny Chan, the Black Nines.
Cool.
And of course 9-6 because it's my
Of course.
Twitch handle. So
Of course. So we'll see what I'm pretty sure Rob's going to take a 2x open approach into a lot of these hands.
I think so. Yeah, I thought I seen him mix in a 3x here just while we were chatting. I seen
Oh
him
yeah, so maybe
mix in the
they're
3x. So
just
yeah,
deep
we're
enough.
seeing
I
him
mean,
have a
they
win
are
here.
quite deep. They are
Yeah.
quite deep, so that makes sense. Um, your effective 73 big blinds. I think I like that actually.
Yeah.
We'll probably see them tighten that when they get down to 50 or 60 or so.
It is a little big. I still think that 2.5 or 2.2, if we're going to be making it more than 2x, I think three
Mm.
is, unless we see a limp like we're seeing here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Rob, I like that Rob's choosing a hand like King 10 suited to raise over there. That's one of those hands that you might typically want to just call and see a flop with, but when your head's up, you got to promote those into aggressive
Yeah,
action
these
hands.
are
I
really
really do
premium
think
hands. The
so.
King 10 of
Yeah.
clubs is like a really, really good hand. So
Yeah. I noticed he only went to three big blinds. I don't know we were nitpicking about sizing
right,
earlier.
yeah,
I might go to four there just because you're going to be
yep,
out of position and your opponent they've limped, so they've already demonstrated that they want to see a hand like a flop
Hmm.
in a passive
Definitely.
fashion. So you don't want to give them too good a price because then you're letting them do what they want to do. Um,
And also,
here's the
if we've been 3xing, then we can say, okay, well, that's the
right.
limp plus our raise. So,
Great point. Great point. So I think we're going to see a lot of these leads
mm.
from
And
Ron.
and I see him do this quite a bit in the home game. So I'm curious to see how Rob approaches this. I think we're going to see this
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just a
It's
fold.
funny. It's funny how you kind of develop a sense of like players' styles, betting styles, and lines when it comes to this. I remember one of our first forums edition of the podcast was about a guy named Michael Hawes, who also likes to just lead out for like one big blind on every street, and it was driving our home game club batty. We could not figure out how to respond to it, so we had to do a strategy edition to see if we could find out some answers. So and I know Ron K Poker Wannabe here has a similar propensity. He likes to lead out. He likes small bets. He likes to take his time. Um, and so I think we'll see a lot of that today.
Rob's got top two pair. It's the fold.
Yeah.
Small pot.
Again, I think we'll see Rob opening. Yep.
Yeah,
All these
3x. Yeah.
hands. And I
Could have
think
gone
we'll
with the
get a
three.
fold from Ron here. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's a pretty ragged holding.
and it's a big difference when you're facing a 2x open versus
Mm-hmm.
a 3x open. You know,
Yeah.
you're
I
going to
think that's
continue with almost everything 2x, but not
yeah,
3x.
not 3x. Yeah, and I think that was the difference maker in that spot.
And Rob's again. So I think we're based on what we've seen so far, we're going to see a lot of these limps from Ron. And, Rob takes the 3x raise there and gets the fold. So,
Yeah,
he has some fold equity there. Maybe I didn't give him enough
definitely. Yeah.
credit. I didn't give him enough
Well, and
credit
then
by
if we
saying
don't need to make it any bigger, then and we're
that's
still
it.
gonna get the same amount of folds. We don't need to risk the extra
Yeah,
chips.
that's right.
They both
Now
have
this one you'd think
ooh,
would be a
might
bit of
sing
a
a
setup.
yeah, it could be a setup.
They've each got a club. They've each got a
Let's see a
club too.
king.
So yeah, let's see a king.
Clear my throat here, an
Um,
8 maybe.
so this goes check bet call. Definitely see another check from Ron here.
Ron, yeah. Oh, it's still check.
And I think we'll
I
probably get
think.
to showdown. I expect this. Oh, Ron
Oh, here we
leading out.
go. Going
Yeah, there
for
you
it. All
go.
right. Sage
Okay.
Jim.
La 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 la.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I love it. I love it from Ron. He says, I can bet more than one big
Yeah.
blind. Let's take it away. Take it
Yeah. That's
away.
what we've been talking about is just that. Who wants it? But Rob's gonna have it here with a big hand. Just checking. See if he goes with a
Hmm.
small check raise. Really small as you can
Was
get.
that a click back
That
where
was a
you went
click
from
back,
one
yeah.
to two? Yeah.
1 to 2, yeah.
Interesting.
Not loving the river 10 of spades, but
Nope. But gotta put it out there.
yeah, gotta try and get some value.
And if I know Rob, this is a bet with the plan to fold because that spade came in on the river. So it's one of those, which I think is such a profitable line compared to just like check call or check fold, bet folding. We should all be bet folding more as recreational players. Having an active range that contains a folding range, if you're fought back at, is really really profitable. You can't just take aggressive actions with hands that you want to go with.
Rob didn't raise the Jack 10 of hearts. I'm surprised he didn't. He was mixing in some other raises to the 3 big
Hmm.
blinds, but
We'll get a call from him here, I'm pretty sure.
I would almost say, oh, he
Oh, it
goes with
goes
the
for it.
raise.
Yeah. All
I like
right.
get back doors. We got a gut shot.
Yeah. And Ron really holds on
Ron.
there.
Wow, with his back door is saying no
Pretty good,
way.
pretty
Not
good
giving
turn
up.
for him too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good
There's
turn.
that
We see
one
one
bet.
big blind again.
Yeah.
And a quick
Yeah.
fold.
No, I like it. I like it. And I think, and Rob knows, I tried my check raise. I didn't get the backdoor turn that I needed. That was the goal. On to the next hand.
Yeah.
And you can't get married to him like that. Interesting. So they both got an ace here. So
Yeah.
they both have the gut shot.
Some hearts out there, but
Mm-hmm. And Rob's, value betting that two right now and getting called. So I think he'll check, and he does. And I expect Ron will just try and get this to showdown, but he's shown that he's not afraid
yeah, he
to
can make
bluff
some
river.
moves, but he does just
Yeah.
check back.
And it's better to make those moves when you have a worse hand.
Yeah.
When you've got an ace in a heads up spot like this, you're going to win at showdown enough that you can pick a worse hand to make your bluffs with. So here we get the limp, and Rob checks. And that's a pretty good board for
Check.
Rob's limping range, or Rob's checking range. No, no one wants this one.
Nobody wants it. Imagine we'll be happy to see showdown. He does go for a little thin value.
And he gets, there we go,
it.
Rob. Rob
Nice.
gets snaps him off with queen high. We were talking
Yeah.
about queen high being a valuable hand. Oh, except, wait, did
Yeah,
Ron
Ron
win
had a
that one? I
pair.
might have
Yeah,
missed that.
Ron
He
had
had
a pair.
oh, damn it. Well, I like Rob's call
I still like the
anyway.
call. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the call. I was like, yeah.
My bad. But yeah, good for
But he
both. I
did,
think both
yeah,
players played
both of
that
them.
right
Yeah, it
there.
was
Good
perfect.
to go for it, to go for
Yeah,
value for
got a
Ron, and
little
then
value, the smallest amount of value we can probably get,
yeah.
and we get queen high to call. So
And it's hard to call there
it
with
is.
queen high, but I think it's right. Especially when you have a player who's been doing a lot of these stabs. Now I wonder if we'll see a smaller open. Nope, going right, still right for
No,
three.
still
So
going to three. Yeah,
50 might be the cutoff, but it's not 52. Here's that lead.
small lead here. He does
Just
it
going to
again.
continue.
Yeah,
And you can
straight
see,
into the
like, you
muck.
do apply a lot of pressure. And if you can tell, I don't know if you can tell from Rob's body language, but it does feel it does seem like he's kind of getting worn down by some of
Yeah,
these this never-ending river of small bets.
yeah. Never turn away from the camera when you're watching me because I'm usually fairly reactive.
No. Okay, I was gonna say we'll probably get this one down
Yeah.
to showdown here. So it's just still a lot of small pots.
Different than the last match we just watched. Just a lot more
Hmm.
smaller pots, some smaller stabs.
I thought we might get a bet from Ron there with his
Yeah, with the
with his
deuces.
twos. Well, no, just really wants to get him
Yeah,
to
just
showdown. I feel
showdown.
like in heads up, I don't know. I feel like I want to protect some equity. Like I'd rather, if you're going to bet one big blind, I'd rather do it on the flop or the turn.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Then
because
try and
by the
go for
time
it
you
on the
get to
river.
by the
Yeah.
time you get to the river, they've already had a chance to make a hand, and all they need is they don't need a very good hand. See if
Yeah.
Rob makes a bet here. Yep, pretty chunky.
He got the better of him here.
Yep.
Ron had the better hand pre-flop, but here's to see if he doesn't give up here. I want to see if he calls here because I think he might, just based on what we've seen so far.
No, he does lay
No, he
it down.
doesn't. He does lay down. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he did have that kind of hand that was sort of like too low for the ace to coordinate with
Right.
it, but too high
Yeah.
for the to the five. So that makes sense. Kind of in no man's land. But let's get that 3 open. And Rob's down. He's getting down a bit. I mean, they
Yeah, he's
both
getting
are. The
down there
blinds are
now,
going
but he's
up.
still.
They're still pretty equal, actually. It's more about the absolute stack size than the relative stack size. There's Ron leading. He's got the
Ooh.
backdoor flush and the gut shot. Now he's made
Wow,
top
turns.
pair.
Yeah, it turns it.
He'll
I don't think
probably
Rob's
bet
going to go
again.
anywhere for one big blind if that's what the
No, I don't
line that
think
we're
so.
going
We'll
to take on the turn.
see if Ron sizes up a little now.
We also
A
have a gutter
little.
too. A little bit, yeah. This could be a little
1.52.
bit of a tell though, especially if he's been doing one big blind
Right.
leads into us and then we get the 1.5. It's a little it is a little bit fishy and you see Rob on the camera
And
there thinking about it, making a proper laydown.
Rob,
I think that
wash
was a little
him.
bit of a sizing tell there because we're used to seeing the one big blind and then the change up is just enough to for Rob to sniff it out there.
Amazing. Amazing. And this is why we tell people you can vary your sizes by whatever you want that's public information, whether it's position or stack size or whatever you want that's publicly available. But don't use the only private information that you have, which is your hand, to determine the size of your bet, because then you're taking private information and you're making it public. And that's the worst thing you can do. So you don't have to have the same bet size for everything all the time, but let something other than the strength of your hand be what determines that bet size.
I like it.
So let's see. So now we're coming in. Rob's got about 45 big
45, yeah, about
blinds.
that, yeah.
Cave Poker Wannabes got about 54. So they're very close. And interesting, Ron has been limping a lot, but he makes the
Goes for the
2.1.
2.1.
And I guess there is an ante at this point, I should point out. You'll notice that when both players limp, there's 2.2 big blinds in the middle. It's a small ante, but there is an ante in play. Just in case people were wondering why the pot size had those little fractions in
Maybe
them.
I should have known that considering that I'm in the second round now. Always look at the structures. Always.
Yeah, always look at the structures. That's right. Pocket fives win again. They're hot tonight.
They are. They cannot be stopped.
They could only be contained. And yeah, Rob is just sticking to that 3. He's hammering that 3x.
He is hammering it. Yeah.
He likes it.
Not letting up.
And there's the limp again from Ron. I think
Yeah.
we'll get a raise here. Are we going to keep going to 3? Probably. Oh, it goes to 4 this time. So that's interesting. Okay. I wonder if now it won't matter with that hand because Ron's going to fold anyway, but that is interesting.
We just want to 3-bet with that hand so bad that we want to make it a little bigger and pretend that Ron opened because that's like the quintessential 3-betting hand is ace-5 suited.
Ace-5 suited, yes, sir. It sure is, boss.
That's like the one we all want to 3-bet.
I love it. It's true. So we'll get a bet from Rob here for sure. He's taking the Ron Payton approach to min betting.
Yep, the one big blind.
And I think we could get a fold from Ron here. Yeah. Just not enough. Too many.
Maybe with a
too
club
many ways.
or something we can get him to come along, but
yeah, he just didn't have enough of it. Here's the limp. I wonder if we'll get a raise from Rob here. Yep.
Goes with the 4.
Getting into that 4 groove.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a call from Ron here. This is a hand you kind of, if you're gonna play, you want to see a flop. Oh, disciplined fold.
Ooh, yeah.
Very disciplined fold from Ron Payton. And they're getting close to even again here. Rob's down just a little, but it's anybody's game. And we'll definitely, not definitely. I'd like to see a check raise from Rob here if it gets back to it won't. Okay, so Ron checks behind, but
because Ron is
I wonder
only got 6 high here, but maybe We see the one big blind on the turn.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
point
like,
one. Okay, half pot.
yeah, we're just gonna call. Yeah, no, that's why you call.
Yeah,
But is Ron gonna fire again and try and
I
take it away?
don't think, but
I think
you
when we
never
check call the
know.
turn, that 8 is pretty scary to our opponent. So I expect he will check behind. Yeah, too
Yeah.
bad. But
Yeah, and I think I feel the same, and that's kind of a spot when it's this kind of a board, and we have that hand because it's hard to get our opponent to fold.
hmm
Because there's so many hands that just have, that are gonna call us when we try and bluff.
right. And Rob doesn't know it, but he gave Ron a walk with pocket jacks there.
Yeah,
So
I
he
seen that.
dodged a bit of a bullet there, and now he's rewarded with the ace of spades on a monotone flop.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ron with top pair though, so
I think he's gonna bet here. Yeah, he
yeah, he's
does.
gonna go for a bet. Go for
And
that
then
half
we can
pot again.
do anything but fold. We go for the call, and now I think we're.
Rob still has a pair here though. Pair of
Oh,
sevens with his,
I'm
yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised Ron checked behind there. I think he only ended up betting for one value, one street on that hand.
Hmm.
I guess he could have gotten slowed down, but I think that's a two street hand. Pair of kings in this dynamic, I think that's a two street hand.
Yeah.
Streets of value. I mean, that's
Especially
such
when the
a
flush doesn't
tricky
come
thing.
in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I
We know
think you can.
our king is good a lot of the time.
hmm
Okay,
So
my
definitely
favorite
get the
hand,
bet.
making top pair.
There you go. Of course it is.
But I don't
And
think
yeah,
Rob's
Rob's
gonna
not
do
go.
anything there, just into the muck.
Mm-mm. This game's a lot easier when you can see everybody's cards.
Yeah, it is. I like this. I think I should be able to see the cards all the time. It'd make it so
I
much easier for me to win.
I think I'm going to try and find a way to play like this consistently. This is
Yeah.
great. It's a real edge. It's
It
a real
is,
edge. I can
yeah.
see why all those cheaters do this. This
Right?
feels like
Yeah.
this a huge
Ali and
advantage.
all them, yeah. I have too much love for the game.
Yeah, yeah,
Too much love for the game to do that.
yeah. You and I can tell from the time that we've spent talking about this, we just enjoy the actual game itself
Exactly,
so
yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's like not worth the risk.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not even fun,
Oh,
right?
exactly, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-mm. So
But
we'll get the
if you wanted to just purely win,
that would be a good way to do it. Yeah,
yeah.
see what everyone's cards are. Yeah. Okay, this
Oh
one feels
wow.
like it might be a setup. Is K Poker Wannabe gonna raise here?
Just to
Because
see if
they
we
have
see
a
a 2.1 maybe.
yeah, they have I mean they have there it is. And I
Yeah.
want to see a three bet from although honestly, Rob might choose just to call here because Ron has been raising so infrequently
Yeah.
that it's going to be really tight range. So actually, I think I think the call is probably
And
right with this hand.
yeah, and stack depth too, right? Like if we make a three bet and we get jammed on,
Right,
we have to fold, and then we're giving up so much of our stack then.
but no one's betting here with the
No.
gut shot, and here we see it, and then this will probably go check check now. I don't think Ron's going to bet again when the flush comes in, uh, especially the four line straight on the board. Yeah.
Yeah, just a check. I was trying to figure out if that was a chop pot, but I was no chop pots though tonight, or I don't think we haven't had a single one yet when
No,
we
I
had a
don't think we
ton
have. We had
on
last
the
week was
other first round
crazy.
matchups was, yeah, it was insane.
Good point.
So with the 4x
Yeah.
suited on the button.
So then I expect we'll see another open here. Yep, we
Yeah,
do.
2.1.
And Rob's getting down to 34 big blinds, so starting to feel the stack a little.
Couple of
I think we'll
Broadway
see. Oh
combos.
yeah, well no, we'll see it there. And then this is interesting to see
Wow.
what's Ron gonna do here.
Yeah. Is this a 4x open from Rob?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And
Ooh. This
Ooh.
is where you start getting
Oh, look at
frustrated. And
him.
I knew,
Look,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is where you start getting annoyed with the one big blind where you're like, I have two bro overcards,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
just completely whiffed it. And
Yeah. It's it's the power of these small bets because they give you a chance to fold,
yeah,
right? And like we talked about, poker is a game of making people fold. And if you can do it with micro bets, it's going to be very profitable for you.
yeah, definitely. And he had the best hand there too, to be fair. He did have ace
Yes,
10
he
with the
did.
best
He
hand,
did.
so
Yep. Yep. So now we're getting a 3x from Rob, and with a hand like King 5 or Queen 5 offsuit, it's just blocker value. We're just
yeah.
trying to use our position here, win a pot. And we
Surprised he's
do.
not going for the two now that he's down to getting a little
Mm-hmm.
shorter, under 30
Mm-hmm.
bigs, but we're still seeing the three big blind open.
He's got a target in mind. If I know Rob,
Yeah.
he's already decided what
Yeah, he's
the
premeditated that out.
yeah, definitely. I like the check here
Yeah.
because now you can call this yeah, exactly. And I think we'll probably check call again if Ron puts another small bet out, but he does just
It'd be
check back,
fun for
right?
Ron to put out like a really big bet there, just to
Oh
like
yeah.
really throw off Rob because you might get a lot of snap folds that way.
Well, this is the thing that's interesting about the small bets because when people just call and decline to raise, they're also capping their range.
Hmm.
If you think about, my opponent would raise with all their very strong hands when I make this tiny bet. When they just call, it actually gives you a lot of information about the strength of their hand. And so if the next card's a brick, you really should feel like you can kind of empty the clip there because if your opponent had a very strong hand, they would have taken an action other than just calling your one big blind.
Hmm.
So it's interesting.
Surprised to see Rob go with such a large size pre-flop now that they've gotten this short.
Hmm.
He's going with the 3 and 4x consistently. So
I mean, he might just feel like he's got a skill edge. He wants to play bigger pots in position and, be able to take it away. So if that's true, then we should see him making more like bluffs on turns and rivers to kind of, sniff out those weak hands and apply that skill. Now I see we're getting down to a
yeah, now we're
2x. So
going down.
that's like a more conventional sizing
Yeah.
at this stack depth.
Nice little three bet here for Ron, but you get the call.
Mm-hmm.
Still a good call
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, the thing, a lot of the hands that are good candidates for three bets, they're good candidates for calls too.
Exactly,
They got a lot going
yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And really good turn for Ron as well. I wonder if
Yeah.
he's going to lead out here. I mean, Rob does not look happy. Like
Yeah, I
if you
think
look at Rob, he looks like frustrated, like visibly, he looks kind of like
yeah.
frustrated. And I wouldn't look at him and think, "Oh, he's made a good hand." I'd look at him and
Right,
think,
yeah.
"Let's keep chipping away. Let's keep chipping
Yeah.
away." Now, to be fair, Ron does not have his camera on.
Right.
So Rob's actually kind of maybe even giving up a bit of an edge here by being the
Hmm.
only one of the two players with his camera on.
What do you think you would do,
Um,
Jim, in this situation? Like, let's say you get into a match and somebody has their camera off, but you have yours on. Would you turn yours off or would you keep your camera on?
it's a good question, Ben. I think in the fun setting of like MaREC Madness with other Rec Poker members, I would probably keep it on. But in any money match or in anything that was with other people who I had, like no friendship or connection with, I would absolutely turn it off.
Yeah.
Or like I would do whatever my opponent did. If they had it on,
Right.
I would have it on. But if they turned it off and mine was on, I wouldn't continue
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
I would
Just
turn it
give
off.
away the information. Yeah.
I mean, how much
Personally, yeah.
information can you get? I don't know, but if it's anything more than zero,
I
it's
think now I've played a few of these. I think the actual conversation is more important, I think, than the video feed.
yeah, Yeah.
especially in between hands.
And we're not capturing the audio for this
Yeah,
because we're putting our commentary on top.
I
But
know with me and
um,
with me and Joe when we played, we've been friendly in the Opas and stuff like that. So we were yucking it up and chatting quite a bit. But there was a couple crucial spots where he made a couple comments that I picked up on that I may have
ah,
used to my advantage. There was a
yeah.
two pair hand that we had when I had 10-8. I thought about bluffing the river when the four flush came in that we were talking about earlier,
Oh, yeah.
and he had a straight, and I almost bluffed him, and I think he might have folded that hand, but then I used that information later to make the bluff with I think I had 4-3 off on the
There
river,
you
but
go.
yeah.
And I see in the chat that yeah, Ron was actually muted as
Right.
well.
Okay. Yeah.
So Rob was getting no tells at this point anyway, unless Ron changes his camera or mic.
We see Rob is getting a little shorter now. He's down to 20, less than 20 bigs.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Doyle Brunson.
That's right. Hasn't been making a ton of hands. I should see a
No,
small
he's
bet
been
from Ron here. Excuse me for one second.
does have the diamond as well. Just a check though on the flop. Just go for a single big blind and Rob will
A
let it
little
go. No help for the
delayed C
Doyle.
bet. Yeah, so Rob, now that you're 20 bigs, you have to be a little more selective with the hands you're playing. Might see Rob limping some small blinds now, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's just folding some and trying to get to a flop with some stronger ranges now that we're only going to have 17 bigs back. Still
Yeah,
have
this
enough
is
that we're not going to be open shoving yet, I don't think, but we're getting close.
we are getting there, yeah.
Wow, this could be it with second
Yeah.
pair top kicker versus
This
the
is a pretty big flop.
open
Oh,
ender.
and he gets the lead. I'm surprised
Okay.
he oh wow, makes two pair on the turn.
So super smooth. You
Yeah,
smooth
just with the crisp.
operator.
Yeah, crisp call there.
So this one, raise the river though, I think.
I think so,
Can't
yeah.
oh yeah, dirty. Dirty. No, he's not gonna get called here because
No.
the draw didn't come in, but
Jack high.
he's
We have
got
no fold equity here either to try
for
and get
Ron. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
for
think
Ron,
so.
yeah.
Although I mean, you'd be surprised. Uh, some people will make that hero fold
Yeah.
when their tournament life is on the
And not
line. You
many
know,
people will bluff. Not many people will bluff on that last street, so
right? Yeah,
it's tough to put somebody on a bluff, but Rob back up over 20 bigs.
got to feel better. No, oh, I thought he might fire at that when Ron checks behind the flop there. He really very unlikely to have a 10. So when the 10 pairs, that's a good spot for us to try and take
Yeah.
it.
No hero calls at the queen high.
All right, so no one's really locking this one up. If Ron checks, I expect we'll get a bet from. Oh no, so Rob does want to
Yeah,
get that
check,
queen.
check.
Rob
Okay.
wants to get that queen to show down. That
Yeah.
uh, might see a delayed C bet here.
Yeah, we don't want to bloat the pot. We could get some
I think
folds, but
this will get the fold. Yeah. And you can get called. You can get called by worse hands here, so um, it's definitely a value bet. Well,
queen nine on the button. Nice
yeah,
looking flop here.
Ron's really letting that one go. Another delayed C bet. So I wonder if there's some meta game at work here. If these two are
I think so, yeah, because I know that like I said earlier, I played with Ron quite a bit. I played with Rob a lot in the home game as well, especially this year now that I'm trying to get my wins
Yeah,
goal. So I've been playing a lot more through the weeks and stuff. So I know
nice.
that these two have battled a lot. So
Interesting.
yeah, we're
So
getting a lot of these
Ron,
flops where one person hits and the other person just completely whiffs. It's
yeah,
hard to
that's gonna make for a
continue,
lot of
especially with the shorter stacks.
mm-hmm. I think we'll get a check from Rob here, although it's a
Yeah,
good
it's a
hand.
pretty
Yeah, all
good
right,
hand.
good for
Yeah, I was
you.
gonna say
Yeah,
it's a pretty
nice.
good
I love
hand.
it. And coming off that stack size, that looks very strong.
Hmm.
Um, so I like this.
And if we can just
As it,
take this down post flop or pre flop and not have to go post flop, we can just
yeah.
win, not have to play out of position,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially if we flop something. We're gonna have to
Yeah, if he gets called, the SPR will be less than two, so it's going to
mhm.
be a hand. Once it becomes a pot that you're kind of interested in winning, that's a different situation. Yeah, okay, good fold there. Let's see what.
And they're getting deep into this thing too. They've been at it for a little while now.
Good point. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh no. Hard. It's going to be hard for Rob to put
Yeah.
Ron on a two, especially when he checks
Wow.
back
He
like
checks
that.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small
Um,
pot, but we still, as Rob, we don't really have anything that we can.
it's
I'm curious
true.
to see. Wow, and he checks again.
Yeah,
That's
he's not
crazy. He's
Rob's not
waiting
putting
him
another
out.
penny in this one, I don't think.
No,
It's
definitely not. Ron was just praying that Rob would make a pair,
yeah,
but unfortunately not the case.
no, he knows better. He knows better. Okay, now and
Here we go, the most
he'll
hated
put
hand
this
in
in,
poker.
and I wonder if Ron might continue because it's just one big blind and does
Yeah.
picks up a gut shot, but we've got top
Wow,
set with
top
Rob
set.
here.
Ooh.
Now this
And a
one I feel like
lead.
should be a
Now,
oh wow, so dirty.
I was gonna say I actually like a call here, even with the flush draw,
Yeah.
because we have so much of the board and we're so happy with our hand here.
Look at this dirty little
Yeah, we
check
go for
back.
a little
What is
click.
this?
He did this
Um,
earlier too. He's seen him do this earlier in the match as well.
taking the min bet
Yeah.
fight right back to him. How do you like facing one big blind? He says.
One big blind. I think even now on the turn, I mean, I'm seeing the cards, so it's a little easier. Wow, and Ron calls. I guess
Hmm.
now I like
He's
it
got
more. If
the
we're getting called by six deuce, then I love this little
yeah.
click back. But I almost would have just called, seen a flop or seen a river,
Just
and
find out
then
if the flush comes in or not.
yeah, and we're still in position, so we can still, we can still make the ultimate decision at the end of what we want
Yeah.
to do. And even if the flush comes in, we can figure it out when
Hmm.
that card comes in. I mean, we're a little shorter, so it's going to be hard. Like it gets a little complicated because we don't have as much wiggle room. But yeah, fun hand for sure. I'm surprised. Yeah, he just called there. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if we get a lead. Yeah, like this is a
Mm.
board we can lead at a lot when the turn comes like that.
Ace high here is not
You
feeling all
should
that bad
definitely
about it
call.
either. Yeah.
Wow,
Wow, he
okay.
lays it down.
Ron gets away from a small pot there. I think I probably would have paid Rob at least one more big blind
Yeah, I think I would
with
have as
ace
well.
high. But you can see why it's such a good bluff spot
Mm.
because that you can get people to fold. It just feels like, oh no, you had a three. Wow.
Wow.
Another
I think
crazy.
that may have been a sizing tell. What did he come with there
It
with
it
he
was. It
did
was like
it was a
four
little
bigs or
different.
something like that.
Yeah, it was a little
Yeah.
different sizing, but
And
he might be trying to end it maybe kind of like
yeah.
an effective shove almost in a
Yeah,
way,
yeah, yeah,
because
yep.
Rob's a little shorter. So
But it demonstrated something to Rob that let him get away from
yeah.
ace four with 15 big
Oh, we
blinds.
might see it
So
go in there. Yeah.
yeah, me too. Me too.
King 10 getting it done again.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot we have to fight later.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that once we're off air. Once we're off
That's
air.
right. That's right. Okay, let's see if we get a 2x from Rob here. Yeah, and I haven't seen, I don't think we've seen any three bets from Ron. We've just seen larger opens
No, and
with
I don't
premiums.
think we've
So
seen any three bets at all, even from Rob.
yeah.
We've seen him raise
Okay.
over Ron's limps, but
Mm, mm, yeah.
yeah, just a fold.
Well, plenty of chicken left on this bone,
Oh yes, here we
as my
go.
dad would say. Oh, Rob can't believe he got
Oh,
to walk with
look
ace
at him
jack
too.
there.
He's so
Oh
frustrated. He wanted to get his chips in there.
yeah.
He wanted his
So
chips in.
we're getting close to the threshold for open shoving here. We're not quite there yet. Rob is still 2xing, so we're going to see a lot of open calls here. I think we'll see a bet from Rob now with the initiative.
Yeah, I think one big blind here. He goes for two, but
Yeah, we should get a lot of folds now. Ron's
might
got
get a
the
call
gut
here.
shot.
He's got
I
a
think
little
he'll
piece.
call.
Yeah. I think
And
for
once
one,
your
he's definitely calling, but
yeah, once your opponent starts, oh no, all right, well,
no,
let's
just lays
go.
it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say once your opponent starts getting short stacked relative to you here like this, it does change. I think the way that you kind of approach like how many more chips do I want to put in these pots? I can just grind this guy
Right?
down,
Yeah.
to one or two big blinds at a time.
Hmm.
Maybe I should just give up a kind of coin flip spot and pick a better spot. Well, this one's got Ron written all over it with the up and
Does.
down.
He's been getting the better end of a couple of these boards.
It's true. Yeah. Well, nothing Rob can do there. This one I expect will just be a check. Now that board might slow Ron down a bit here, but
He
I don't
might,
think
yeah.
Rob's going to do anything to. Oh no, it's just
No,
insta.
just snaps it in and
Yep,
backhand.
this will be a fold. Let's see. See if Ron's limping these.
It's crazy how different strategies, like we've seen a totally different match the last match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I like this match like I like the other one, but they're both different in their own way, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of cool seeing the differences.
And you can see Rob's really not
Oh,
giving
the
up with that
straight
pair of
here comes
threes.
in.
So this comes down to sizing.
2.1.
All
Does just
right, yeah,
fold,
very
yeah.
nice. See,
I was thinking
Rob,
maybe a
like,
hero call, but
oh, now this one might be
yeah,
a setup.
this is a little bit of a
Uh,
setup.
2-2-7. All right, so we
Oh,
might get away with it. I think we can
yeah.
probably just let this one go. Well, he's got
I
backdoor
don't
straight,
know.
backdoor
There's so
flush.
much in the
No,
pot
yeah.
too. Oh, and two overs, back doors, flush draw. And
Mm-hmm.
we got three to a straight.
Now we're gonna see Rob shoving soon, I think. Probably lets this one go, yeah. And
Yeah, that 8-9 versus 7-5 there. I'm surprised we
mm-hmm.
don't see Rob call there.
Hmm. Now if Ron limps here, I'm pretty sure Rob's gonna shove.
Yeah, we'll get the shove here.
Yeah. And I think Ron will fold just because the absolute strength of his hand is pretty bad. Yeah. Still, Queen High is not, it's something.
Yeah.
And now does Rob just shove this one? This is one of those spots. Yeah,
Yeah,
there it
he
is.
does.
And I think Ron should this is
I don't
pretty
know. This is
close. Pretty
close. This is a
close.
close spot. I
I'd
can
call
go
with
fold or
I can
call.
say from experience that I'd call with King 7 suited. So King 6 off. I don't know.
I heard a little piggy told me that
That's right. Okay, this one's getting in for Rob, I expect. And it's interesting, again, Ron likes to play pots. He likes to see flops.
he does, yeah.
But I think he's got to be thinking, again, I'm so close to just
Yeah,
grinding this
just
guy
want
out. I just
to you
don't want to
don't
give
want
him
to
any more
double up,
chips. Yeah.
especially a good player like Rob runs the book
Mm-hmm.
study, right? You don't want to double him up, get him back in the game, and then we're gonna have to be battling for it again.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. Even now, it only takes two doubles, and then
Yeah.
we got a
And then the
poker game.
tables have turned. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's true. So don't give up, folks. Don't give up. Don't punt.
Yeah,
Don't take a
the only time I'm short stacked is when I've got like less than five big blinds. That's usually when I'm
mm,
like that. Okay, I'm short
hmm
stacked now.
Yep. Yep.
Now we can crack out the short stack because until then, oh,
All
we're
right,
all in here.
we got the Ducks in versus A6. Oh, I hate the pair board when we've got
Ooh, not
twos.
good. Yeah.
No jack, no king, no ace, no six. All right.
Okay. Here's that
There
double we
you
were
go.
talking
There's that
about.
first double up.
Yeah,
And just like you say, do the math. If Rob doubles up again, they'll be neck and
it'll be
neck.
almost even. Yeah.
That's all it takes. Rob Washam with the crucial double up. And now he's got two
Ooh,
pair.
he's got the Greg.
He's been checking a ton here.
Greg goes all
Um
in, is smiling down on this hand.
I
The seven deuce
like
off.
I like the bet from Rob there.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get if it's gonna go check check, you should be betting here a lot. We've got a very strong hand. I like it. It's also very vulnerable.
Uh-oh.
I was
Jam.
gonna say he wasn't shoving before at 15 big blinds, but now we broke the seal.
Yeah,
And
we've
now it's a
done it.
little easier. It's a little easier. So maybe, nine was the threshold but before, but now it's crept up. I wonder if we'll see a lead from Rob here. Oh God, yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
I love it. I love it. Now it's hard to get called, but Ron might just be suspicious.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know, King
curious
High, like we say.
if this is Rob, a little bit of frustration sneaking through for
Mm-hmm.
Rob.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Oh
see him
yeah.
taking a
The
breath
body
there.
language. The
Yeah, he
body
was taking a
language
breath,
from
so maybe he got a little overzealous on that one.
yeah.
Here we go again,
Okay.
though.
So this will go
Fresh it
check
up, get a
from
fresh look at it, and move
yeah,
on to the next hand.
that's right. Yeah, probably bet one big blind here if I had to guess. Or maybe just check back. No, he gets the
He
one
goes
in.
for the one, yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. Ron definitely takes his time.
Yes, I like it. We've seen some quicker decisions um from Kathy and Taylor, and a little bit from
Hmm
Joe too. I was surprised to see Joe really he was acting really quick on a couple of those decisions, making some expert laydowns. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
um I think I have to force myself sometimes. I think I've gotten better with it too over the years of just taking that extra time, right? I mean,
Yeah,
no one's really forcing you. You know, you've got that time bank, so definitely want to utilize it for sure.
that's right. It's a tool.
Yeah.
Use it, you know. Don't abuse it,
Yeah, that's
but use
true.
it. It's there
Unless
for
you're in
you,
a
you know.
satellite, and then it's okay.
Then abuse the hell out of it. Yeah.
Satellites are like the exception of the rule with everything I've been finding, where you can like fold aces and just time bank a lot.
Right. Yeah. Well, Rob says his line is take your hand off the mouse.
Yeah,
That's from Rob Washam. Just take your hand off the mouse and give yourself a chance to sort of
yeah,
reset. No snap decisions. Now I'm not sure.
yeah. Maybe we got a little
Ron.
internet.
Oh yeah, it could be because Ron doesn't have that doesn't look like that much. He doesn't have that much equity in that hand. All right, we got the pair of twos for Rob here. Probably gets one more call if we see another small bet.
Hmm.
Nope, won't have to. And those twos are good if they can get to showdown.
I think they
Another
will here.
pot,
Yeah,
another
nice.
pot. And if you look at it now, I mean, Ron's chip lead is really small relatively. It's
Yeah.
27 to
Now they're almost
21.
even. Yeah.
That's a huge relative comeback from
Compared to
Rob,
what it
because even
was. Yeah.
even though he's he doesn't have that many more chips than he did before because the blinds are going up. Ron has a lot fewer. So let's see how he responds here to the patented one big blind.
One big blind. Yeah. I'm not
Hmm.
seeing a lot of turn bets either.
No, I was
I've been
thinking the
noticing
same
a lot of
thing.
checkbacks on a lot of turns, which I'm kind of surprised about.
Yeah.
Even not to just go for the one big blind. And Rob doesn't
Mm-hmm.
raise there.
Because we can see how much pressure it brings, how much leverage that one big blind has.
Yeah. We've seen it
And
a
oh
little
my
bit
God,
early, but
just like that, Rob has taken the chip lead.
wow.
Boom.
Just like that.
Just like that, slowly but surely, right? Don't
Yep.
lose big pots. Just don't lose big pots. Um, and he's going back to his 4x.
His
He's going to be,
4X.
he
He's
just
going to
wants to
be
apply this
putting the
pressure.
pressure on now that we got the chip lead. Start chipping away again. Start trying to get it going the other way.
Yep. And I wonder if Ron will start folding some of these, yes, some of the absolute
Some of the
worst hands
worst.
now
Yeah.
instead of limping. This one's a raise for sure from Rob. And
Yeah, this is the
unfortunately, I
pretty
think
hand.
it'll just get a fold from Ron. Yeah, it's a very pretty hand. I'd rather have Queen Jack suited than King 10 off.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, what's the situation, I guess?
Yeah, it's tough because I still fold. Even though I say it's my favorite hand, I'll still just fold it. I'll be like, oh, my favorite hand, I fold.
Yeah. Sounds wise.
You can't do that with aces, though.
True.
Well, if that's your favorite
If
hand.
that's your
So,
favorite hand, yeah, we
yeah.
don't recommend it. So here we are now, just a few hands later, and Rob's got a significant chip lead.
Yeah.
And the best hand at the moment. Definitely calling here. Oh, they're playing the board. I hate it when that counterfeit comes
Yeah.
out. And look at Rob. Rob's visibly.
Yeah.
So he
I've been
won't, he
keeping an
won't.
eye on Rob's
Oh,
camera
he
because,
folded.
oh, wow.
He folded. Oh man. Wow. So that's and one big blind, right?
Yeah.
And I think that might be part of it. I do think Rob is getting a little frustrated and he might be just kind of like in a rhythm of, not making hands and folding because that one two pair to the 10 on the board. It's very likely that you're both playing the board. But also we get upset when we get counterfeit, right? It's like, damn it,
Yeah.
I was gonna win this hand, and then the nuts changed
The
so bad on
entitlement.
the yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just you sort of feel that negativity, and so you
hmm
you just
Yeah.
fold.
Like I was feeling so good about my hand, and now I'm not feeling
Right.
good anymore.
And now Rob's
Another
got
big pot there.
2-1 chip lead. So it's still anybody's game. We've seen Rob come back from 8 big blinds or 7 big blinds. So there's nothing for Ron to be
Yeah, I think
panicking
he was
about
even
yet.
shorter than that at one point. He had like
Yeah, I
less
think
than
he was like
seven, like
six.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's right.
6.8 or something like that. Like, yeah, really, really putting on a show. I like my open ended with the 4-3, but
Yeah, I thought
the
Rather
turn gets a
Rob
little weird
Rob might
for
have
us.
led turn there when the five
Yeah.
paired. I thought that was a chance to maybe apply some pressure because with four high, you're only going to win by improving or by bluffing. There's
Oh,
Ron with
interesting.
the interesting open sizing
Yeah, with the
again,
raise
and he
again.
he's been doing that with strong hands, double Broadway or
Yep,
pairs.
two
And
Broadways. Whoa, this is a
here's the 4x and a smooth call, another smooth call. Oh
nice
boy.
call. I used to not see him put it
This
in
one
there.
might be
Yeah,
it. So if Ron checks here, it's going to be hard for Rob not to bet. Now facing the micro, okay, he just calls and gets
just
it.
calls. Got diamonds working for him
Yeah,
now, though.
interesting. And that might slow Ron down too. Are we going to see another micro bet?
You
He's
might go
thinking about
bigger
it.
here, maybe like half pot,
No,
5.1, but
it's
no.
interesting. Interesting choice. Interesting sizing.
Bricks off for Rob.
I think that'll let Rob get away with it here, or
I
get away
think
from it.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So disaster averted. But
Ooh,
Ron
still
has
battling.
retaken
Yeah,
the chip
retaking the
lead. Yeah,
lead
very tight
again.
though.
Yeah, really good back and forth.
This has turned into a real marathon of a match. These guys are just trading body blows. And Rob's loving that 4X.
I'm
He's
really
loving it.
I'll give away my one thing going in this year was like I wanted to do the exact opposite of what the people in the booth thought I was gonna do. As a little
Ah,
tidbit as to what my plan was kind of
oh,
going in
I
was like
love that.
whatever they think I'm gonna do, I want to do the exact opposite.
That's fantastic.
Whether it's been working, it's worked the first match, so we'll see how it goes from here. But
That's great. Cool. I love that. All right, now Ron's developed that 2-1 chip lead. So you really have seen this one's gone.
yeah, just
It's
back and
gone
forth. Yeah, Ron's
all over.
back in the seat again.
Yep. And we've picked up the flush draw. Makes the bet probably get a fold just because the
Yeah,
stacks are starting to get pretty small, but King High is a pretty good hand.
hard.
Yeah,
We haven't really connected here. Yeah, with
yeah.
no club or anything.
Okay. Yeah, the George Costanza theory of poker, says Chris in the chat. That's right.
Yeah,
Just do the opposite.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Two
All
pair,
right,
king
so I
10.
think we'll see a bet here. We're pretty well disguised. We can start building a pot, and I think we'll see a call from Ron here. Yep.
I would suspect so. Yeah, we connect a lot.
Uh, this will go, and I think this probably goes check bet fold, unfortunately for Rob.
Yeah. Ooh,
Ron loves the little lead,
the little lead. Let's
and it
see.
does kind of freeze Rob a little bit, even with two pair, because Ron can definitely have some of those fives.
See Rob make that really quick call. I almost like using a
Yeah,
little bit more time there just to think
yeah.
about our decision, just to kind of disguise it a little bit more. But now we
hmm
see Ron thinking about what he's going to do here on this river.
And when Ron can continue repping the
Oh,
five here.
thanks.
I think we'll see a small bet from Rob,
Yep.
and Ron will fold, but I like the bet. I
Yeah.
like the bet here. We just got too strong a hand to check it back. And we're still beating, the other kings out there
Right.
because we've got kings and sixes, and our opponents will have kings and fives. So even though there's the pair on the board, I like that. Again, so close, these two.
Yeah, they just keep jabbing away at each other.
And they've each hit a six, so this could get ugly.
Ooh,
And now
throwing the
it's especially,
turn.
oh, yeah, so fast. Oh no.
Oh
Oh
no.
no, they each have
Quick
two
checks and
pair.
now they got two pair.
Rob leads. Are we gonna get a raise from Ron?
I
If we
think we
do, that's
have to see a
probably the
raise.
end of this. If he raises, I think Rob will have to come over the top. Wow,
Wow,
so
just
much
a
discipline.
call.
I don't know how I'm raising there every time.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Rob's saying I got off cheap there. I got
he
off really
did.
lucky.
I think Ron really let him off the hook
Yeah,
there without by not
I think Rob's thinking, how am I still in this game?
how am I still judging from Rob's body language, he would have been okay either way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um and Rob's still using that 4x sizing, even though it's 20% of his stack here. So he really is we're gonna put these chips in, and someone's gonna make a play. There's the 2x,
Yeah, we're
so
going
make me a
down
liar.
again.
Must be
Yeah.
just at that threshold. Now, if Ron, okay, so we should see a bet from Rob here. This is a perfect continuation bet board.
Yeah.
And I think we'll probably get the fold from Ron here for that same reason. He's kind of stuck between he's too high for the low cards and too low for the high
Right.
cards.
These are the always, it seems like these ones I'm always unsure if he's gonna call or if he's gonna fold, but he does just fold.
We'll see a flop. I wonder if Ron will bet. Yeah.
Back
Just let
here.
that one go.
Okay, let's it go. He did have a spade, but
Yeah, there's not enough chips, I don't
just not
think.
enough, yeah.
Ron will call here, I think, with king high. Ooh. All
Wow.
right. Now, if Ron checks, I could see a bet here. This is a pretty hard board to hit. Okay, that's
Oh,
probably going
that's
to
a
do it,
danger
though.
card, yeah.
I'm guessing Ron will lead now, I expect. And Rob maybe just calls. Yeah.
Yep. Now we'll see what Ron does here
He
on the
should
river.
definitely lead again. Yeah, I like the sizing. It's looking for a call from a hand like a 10 or an ace.
Can we lay this down as Rob, though, is the question.
Can
we get away from
Wow.
this? Yeah, he
Rob.
does.
So impressed with Rob's discipline in this short stack. I know I start to get a little frisky
Yeah, a
once I
little
get,
antsy. And it's hard not to either. It's hard
yeah,
not to just want to, you know.
yeah. He's a patient guy. He's done this a long time. He knows what's up. 15 bigs. I wonder if he goes for the shove here. Yes, he
Yeah.
does. And
This is a
Ron
really
might
pretty
call.
looking hand here,
He
but
could
again, the
call. It's
stacks are weird because
yeah.
15 and now we're
No, you're
really,
right.
if we pay him
It's way
off.
too much. It's way too much of
Yeah,
this
if we
chip
pay him
stack.
off here, this is rough.
And this is a tricky
The
spot because if you look at it, like there's only 40 big blinds on the table. So
yeah.
no one's ever gonna have a big stack again now, even if the other player's stack is small. So you're really you can't there are no spots to call. Like, look at Rob. He's really thinking he's really he's giving up. I mean, Rob is giving up a lot of information over the camera here, I will say. Um you can basically tell he doesn't have an ace. Look at
I think he's still frustrated from the way that the whole
yeah. Well, I think he's like he's been like waiting a lot. Ron's taking a lot of time as
hmm
well to play, and I think that probably weighs on you a
I
bit.
think so, yeah.
Again, very close.
Shaking his head
Very
again.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, very close match here.
Yeah. There's the 2x.
The
I'll
war
get a
of
call
attrition
from
now.
Ron. Yeah. Yeah, who can outlast?
Who can hold on?
I can see Rob talking. I don't know if he's got someone in the room with him that he's talking to, or if he's or maybe he's just speaking to God.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, oh, it looks like his mic isn't on actually.
Yeah, I think it is muted. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, slight chip lead again for Rob. I can't believe this back and forth that we're seeing here is phenomenal.
Yeah, they're almost dead even now.
Amazing. I think we'll see 2x. Oh no, he's been
Doing the
flirting with this
four,
4x,
yeah.
and now that he has a better hand, it does make sense.
I'm always basing my decision off of stack size when it comes to pre-flop.
Me too. Me too.
I think it's just I've gotten in such a habit of doing that that's just kind of my go-to.
Yeah. It's a great
But I feel like
metric to
maybe I
use.
should deviate because, if we can exploit somebody else, we should take that opportunity to try and build pots pre-flop, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it really depends on how much your opponents are paying attention,
Yeah,
honestly. Like, you
exactly.
don't need to be balanced if they're not. And
hmm
you're leaving money on the table if you're playing balanced against people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
you don't you can just play your hand against them. It's the players that are
Right.
paying attention that you have to play your range against. All right, so we got two pair. K Poker Wannabe has rivered second pair. Got a call here, I think, if you're Ron.
Yeah, I
I
think this
don't
is,
think
I don't know. It's a
I don't think
close call though, I think, because we're in kicker
it's
trouble and I don't
yeah,
know though.
it's gone check all the way through though, limped
Yeah,
pot. You're definitely thinking about it.
yeah.
You're thinking about it a lot more than me. I would be in by now.
I think, I don't know. I could still see myself laying this down really, because I mean, it's hard to try and think of a hand we beat.
Hmm.
Just lay it down.
I see in the chat, Rob's been studying oversized opens and MTTs. It changes the dynamics and the SPR. He says it might not be optimal. Might not be,
Might
but
not
I mean,
be. Yeah, it's definitely,
but I see it working, Rob. I
yeah.
like the way you've been approaching it. Um, I see you and Rob, you kind of like switched from you like you've skipped the 3x. You've been like 4xing, and then when you're getting shorter, you're 2xing. Um, yeah, maybe when you're not busy involved, we can talk about that on the show or something because that's a really interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that
But
before too. Um, using a larger sizing, I've heard to kind of that starting to make a comeback again.
mm,
Because it used to be like that, and
hmm.
I hear about the heydays of poker and stuff like that where, everyone was 4xing and Daniel
Right.
Negreanu was the first one to 2x it and everyone
Yeah,
was like,
small
"What are you
ball.
doing?" Yeah, this is
Small
small ball,
ball.
so maybe we'll
Well,
see it
it's
go the other way.
yeah, I mean it's all about evolving and exploiting what the field is doing. So
Right.
as the field, moves towards smaller sizes, you'll see these counter strategies developing with different sizes. And it's kind of like a cycle where you're always just kind of chasing the exploits of the field. Looking at Rob's face, it's like the one big blind lead is like it's causing him physical pain. Um, I see in the chat they're coming up on hand 150. So yeah,
Yeah, we're past
this
it,
is
yeah.
one of the longer matches that we've seen. Um, oh, that's a good point. Yeah, they've got these badges displaying how many hands they've won. And at this point, looks like Ron has won 78 and Rob has won 77.
7, wow.
So
Yeah, so
that's
they're
how
dead
and
even heat.
they're dead even all the way. This is amazing. And yeah, I really like this study that Rob's been doing about the oversized opens. I want to crack that
Yeah, now he's
head
got
open.
me curious about it now
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm. He's ahead here. Backdoor flush, backdoor straight makes the call. Great card for
Ooh,
him.
yeah, really good card.
I'm guessing that yeah, this is
Hmm.
kind of tricky. When Ron sizes
Yeah,
up like
really
that,
quick fold.
he
Wow.
will have some queens. He will have some queens. Well, those stacks are they're getting short,
Yeah.
so let's see now. It's the kind of hand something tells me Ron's just going to call here. But you can see the bigger sizing that Rob's using is really giving
It's
him some tough decisions.
it's intimidating when
Hmm
it's 4x or oh wow, 4x. That's a lot.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And there
He
you go.
had that extra
I
mentality.
think I think Ron probably calls there to a 3x, but it did get the fold. Now, this one's going to be a raise. Yeah.
Interesting
Hmm
flop. They both kind of have a little piece of this.
Yeah.
Rob's got some
Yeah.
back doors.
Yeah.
Got shot.
Now
Another one of those
now Ron's got the redraw.
spades. Yeah.
Yeah, nine be good for him. Oh,
Ooh,
interesting,
big
interesting,
bet. Yeah,
interesting.
quick
Yeah, we
fold.
don't see a lot of those big bets from Ron.
No.
but he hasn't been afraid to put them out from time to time with a mix of value and bluffs, I've noticed. I can just see Rod now. Chick, chick, chick.
Yeah. You trapped me. That's it. I'm done.
All right, now I wonder what
Ooh,
size we'll see from Rob. Still okay, so this is interesting. So
the
going with the
4x, yeah.
4x, I feel like if he had a maybe this might be one of those spots where if he had a worse hand, he would go 2x, but he wants to kind of use that rhythm of it and have it not appear odd that he's in there with the 4x with that one.
Mhm.
We'll see if Ron, yeah, that 2.65. I think Rob has folded to that larger sizing every single time,
Every
and he's been
time, yeah.
right every single time.
Yep.
He's been right every time. It's a good board for the big blind player. You might sneak it now. So Rob has not been leading turns.
Mm.
The only note I could think of, Rob's such a good player. The only thing I've noticed watching this as an observer is I think Rob could be leading more turns because Ron is so consistently taking that high frequency small sizing bet that when
Hmm.
he doesn't, it's
It's
almost
open
always
season.
been,
Yeah.
yeah, it really and he hasn't been, I don't think he's been checking back a lot of value. I think it's been almost always whiffs. So I'd be leading more turns if I was Rob. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I can think of. So much nicer being able to see everyone's cards. I mean, for
Exactly,
God's
right.
sake.
Knowing that, yeah, and seeing the cards
Yeah.
is good. But even not seeing the cards after a while, you have to,
Hmm. Hmm.
now that we're so hard, it's hard to adjust later in these matches too than it is opposed to, making adjustments earlier on. Because now you're kind of in a spot where it's like, oh, if I make an adjustment now to how I'm playing, are they gonna figure it out? Or,
Hmm.
how many chips do I have? Do I have enough leverage to try and change it up a bit? Or I would expect this to
Okay.
go in. Yeah.
I think Ron is probably going to call here.
Yeah, he does
So Rob needs to stay clean.
by
Oh, all
flipping.
right. Well, needs to
Ooh,
hit a six then. There's two left in the deck.
two in the deck.
Either one would do.
Gonna come down to
No
a
luck.
flip.
And
No.
that is how that ends. Rob Washam takes the long walk home, and Ron K Poker wannabe Peyton advances to round two. What a
Ooh,
match!
that
Holy
was.
cow! Um, oh, I see. Yeah, he's putting in the YouTube chat now. Exactly what we were talking about. That larger sizing, it confuses the opponent.
Right,
So they're
yeah.
used to the smaller opens, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's actually from Alex's book about exploiting live tells. And if you want to ask Alex Assassinato Fitzgerald questions about this new technique that we're seeing play out before our very eyes, you could join us on Tuesday, March 19th at 7:30. Come chat with Rob Washam himself and Alex Fitzgerald himself in our book study Q&A. A good game to both players, and congratulations, Ron, advancing to game two or round two. We're going to look at our final match of the night. This is Chris Jones versus John Somsky, two of the original founding members of the Wrecking Crew, going back a long time. In fact, when I joined Rec Poker back in 2019, it was after listening to Steve and Rob and Taylor and Chris and John on the show. This is a real who's who of the original Wrecking Crew.
I wonder if we
Um,
listened to the same episode because that sounds
I,
familiar.
yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. So we didn't see the nine of spades again, but folks, you can start entering those your hand predictions for what is the winning hand going to be in this one. So if you don't know, so Chris Jones and John Somsky, I'll tell you a little bit about these guys. Chris Jones, runs our membership contents here. So he produces the theme of the month every month, and has our facilitates our deep dive recording session, produces a deep dive seminar every month, and also runs the monthly wrap up at the end of the month, so that players and members can go and ask their questions and get the theme all sorted out. We got some big hands to get started
Wow,
here.
yeah, really. Just right off the bat, we'll get
Right off the bat.
suited connectors for Chris and big pair for
Um,
John.
and John Somsky, Poker Geek and Men Everywhere, is he's the director of our home game club. So he actually manages all of our home game stuff, not only putting the games on, but tracking all the results. Uh-oh, I think we got a bit
Whoa.
of a no. There we go. Okay,
There we go.
get the producer on the horn.
Yeah.
John also runs all our qualifiers for this, everything that happens in the home game club. He also tracks all the pins that people have won throughout the year, and all the players of the points year races. He does a lot. And if you see John Somsky in the wild, I encourage you, buy the man a beer. He has earned it.
Buy him two, really. I
That
mean,
would be that.
that's
Great
like,
point. Great
yeah,
point.
he's been
In
doing a
this
lot here. He
economy,
works hard.
he needs two
Yeah,
beers.
he
I
works
think you're
hard.
right. Well
I know
said, Ben.
we did give him a little bit of a reprieve with taking out two home games a week, but he works really hard and he's been doing it
That's
for a
right.
long time, so you got to give him
That's
a lot of
right.
credit.
That's right. So we got some good guesses so far in the Twitch chat, and Joe's back saying he's rooting for the guy with the best facial hair. Hard to say.
Yeah, this
Too
is a tough
strong,
call.
too strong facial hair rigors here. This is I know. Um, Chris does the goatee from time to time. He does the beard. He's got a lot of versatility. John tends to go all or nothing. He's a clean
Yeah.
shaven or nothing guy. Gets the goatee out there every once in a while too. This might be a goatee off. I'm not sure what he's currently rocking, but these guys know how to get the bristles out.
Sometimes mine
Um,
gets a little long, and then eventually I gotta try and do something with it. I can't go full out. I see John's got a big full out
oh
beard
yeah,
going on right now. I don't know if I could really. These two guys they're having fun in the chat and
oh
the
yeah.
Zoom here though, so it's good to see. You like seeing that they're
Old friends here going at
jiving
it.
back
These
and forth a
two,
little bit. So
they've played a lot of poker together, so it's fun to see. Um, yeah, and just really two of the real movers and shakers here at Rec Poker going at it. John is a winner of MaREC Madness in the past. I think he beat Chris heads up. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. Not heads up in the final two. They were the 2 years ago. John beat Chris to take the crown, and Chris has been in the top two several times and just has not been able to get over the hump. And when I say several times, I mean every single year that we've
yeah,
done this. Chris has been the second place finisher, so
I
we
think that
need
was the main
to,
reason why I was like, he's got to be my pick this year because he's done
yeah,
it. So he's come close so many times before that I've got to try and pick him for a favorite because
it's amazing,
it's just only a
amazing.
matter of time. I mean, you get so many second places, and eventually you got to do it, right?
That's right, and he's like such a skilled player. You can't keep giving him that second place prize, or else he's gonna
Plus,
break through.
as much as I talked up John, he did put a bad beat on me in the last
Oh,
home
did he?
game series. So actually twice in a row, though the second time I put Jacks all in against his queens, and maybe I could have folded, but
I
so
love it.
I'm rooting for Chris.
There you go.
Although I'm non-biased because I'm in the booth,
Yeah.
but
No, that's okay. You're allowed to, you're not a referee, so you don't
right,
actually
yeah,
have to
that's
be
true.
biased. It's
That's
okay. You're
true.
not flipping switches or
It's an
anything.
individual game, I guess.
Yeah. I see some folks getting their hands in, their hand guesses for who's going to be or what the winning hand is going to be. And of course, we haven't seen the nine of spades yet, but it is in play for any of these.
What an awesome flop for John here.
And he's getting totally smooth not getting out of line. He's got
No,
second pair in the flush draw.
no, I'm so happy. I'm giddy in this type of situation. I'm like, this is great.
Chris is going to put a bet in here because he's got the gut shot and
Yep.
he's representing it. He's fired on the flop. He's fired on the turn. Um, I think at that sizing, John's probably
Yeah,
just going to
now,
call.
yeah, I'm less excited now, but we
Ooh,
get there.
yeah. And I wonder if John's going to lead here because it brings in the straight as well as the flush. Like you could have a 10, you could have two spades. There's probably some two pair
Hmm.
combos out there now. He does
He does
lead
lead, yeah,
and makes it easy for Chris to get away
for
from it there.
Chris, yeah.
I wonder if Chris would have fired again. I
Would have
think probably
barreled,
not.
yeah.
I don't think he would have because the draws came in. He knows what John was waiting for there. A lot of these paired boards tonight. We're seeing
Yeah, paired
people get
boards and
pieces
some
of it.
monotone boards as well. Not one single
Hmm.
chop pot, Jim.
It's true. Good news for me
Good news for you,
so
sad news for
far.
me.
Yeah, you think so? There could be a lot of chop pots for the next couple weeks. I'm going to be in Ireland at the Irish Poker
Oh,
Open, but
yes. So you're
because I have
going
the
with
best
Kim
job in the
and
world.
Stu and that
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
gang.
Elizabeth and that
Yeah,
group, so that'll be a lot
Elizabeth.
of
Yeah,
fun.
I've seen Elizabeth. She's
She
getting
won her
prepped
way
up.
in.
So yeah,
Yeah,
she won
she's
her
pretty
way in.
stoked.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I'm
so
jealous.
it'll be a different series of Wrecking Crew members in the booth, and I hope they know how to sing the Chop Pot song and how much everybody likes it. I'll be tuning in on Twitch from the tournament floor. I can't wait to watch along like a fan. Better do your scales, do your warm-ups.
Oh yeah. Oh
So you hate to see that king when
yeah.
you're John, but it's still a good
But we're
board for a
heads
C
up,
bet
and yeah,
here. Yeah, I expect we'll see a bet from John for like two big blinds or something
I
like
don't
that.
even think Chris might not even raise here. Chris might just call.
Yeah, that I think so. I think
Especially,
so.
there's nothing really going on this board. It's
Yeah, nothing to protect
yeah.
against. This will go check, and then
Check
I
check
think
here just to keep the pot small with the
he could,
queens.
or he could bet turn check back river. Yeah,
Right.
that's the line he's taking. So he wants to
Hmm.
get value from all the second best hands, and I think we'll get another call from Chris here. He's kind of yep,
Yeah,
that
does
makes
go for the
sense.
call.
And then if Chris checks, now is when John will check
Now he's
back
gonna check
because he's
back. Yeah.
extracted all the money from all the draws and all the second best hands. He's not going to get paid three times by a hand worse than top pair. So I think that's perfectly played by everybody. I mean, maybe Chris could have led river. Again, we know exactly what John
Right.
had,
Yeah.
but he didn't have a great kicker either. So I think it was perfectly played. Now I expect this isn't, yeah, I was going to say, I think we'll get a check back from Chris here because that board is much easier to hit than that King 5-2. And then when he checks back, John's got to be thinking about leading here.
Yeah.
He correctly thinks that he is ahead. And it's a tricky spot for Chris.
Yeah. I think if nobody sees my cards, I think I'm already folded by now.
Me
But I
too.
think
Me too.
but I think with everybody watching, I'm like, oh, I don't want to see everybody, me lay
Yeah.
down a pair here, right? So I think that
Yeah.
and from that's just from my perspective anyways, not from
Oh
Chris's.
no,
That's how I feel in that situation anyways.
I totally get it. We might see a three bet from Chris here because we were
Yeah,
talking
this is
before
kind
about
of
how we're like,
interesting.
yes, there you go. And this is one of
Nice.
those ones, it's a three bet. One of the things that's nice about it is if your opponent
We
four bets, you can
fold.
fold
Yeah.
comfortably. You don't even have to worry about it.
And we might
But
see a but no, he just
yeah, that's tricky because now we kind of want to represent that, and we'll see a bet from Chris, but John's not going anywhere.
no.
And you can use the smaller sizing like Chris is using here because in the three bet pot, you can still express a lot of leverage over your opponent's stack.
Yeah, we could even go smaller than that even sometimes, but we're deep enough where I think that was fine. Like,
Yeah, and we're out of position, so we
yeah.
don't want to be we don't want to be giving our opponent too easy decisions. So it looks like Chris is getting his sizing ready for a second barrel here. Goes a little less than half pot.
Hmm.
So he's really just trying to get folds from hands that don't have an ace in them and don't have two hearts. And that's a lot. He's not going to get those folds from John in this case, but
No.
he's just trying to get the hands to fold that are beating him. And Chris basically has king high on an ace high
Yeah,
board. So
we're pulling the shoot here, I think, if I'm Chris, but
I think you're right. He's got
unless
less
we
than a
do like a
half pot size bet, and
yeah,
the guy that's been calling you
calling him the whole way, yeah.
now, the flush draw comes in, and that's very visible. Yeah.
And is our 22 enough to get John to maybe try and fold? It's gonna take all our chips to do it. I don't think we can make a
Yeah. And
big
he's
move
going to
with
have
our hand.
hearts there, often enough that
Yeah,
is, we,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
no, I like it. I like the second barrel too. I mean, um,
these guys are
but
just so good at poker. I just
it's true. It's true.
I can't even keep up with their decision making because
You know what I've noticed since we've been doing this, the position that Chris is in at the bottom of the table, that's the position that I give myself when I'm playing. And so I've been naturally rooting for whoever's been at the
at
bottom
the bottom,
as
yeah.
we've been playing. They've been like the one I find myself rooting for because like they're us, they're we.
Right, yep.
That's pretty funny. So yeah, I was gonna say we'll see a lot of these limps from Chris because Chris has done a lot of study in heads up play, and we did a whole seminar on this exact dynamic where both of these two guys were very involved in that. So I know Chris likes to start limping
Hmm.
the small blind.
Yeah, and he's taken quite a hit already, so
Yeah,
we need to start trying to get in the mix and making some hands and trying to do it for a relatively cheap price.
yes, exactly,
And then just try and
exactly.
get our chips in on later streets.
Yeah. And then again, you can see John's got a big chip lead here, so he's going to be protective of that lead.
Hmm.
Like you were saying earlier, you really don't want to double your opponent up once you kind of have
Right. A
a
grasp
spot
on
like
him.
this. Yeah.
Because
Here's
now
another
if I'm
limp.
John, I'm kind of waiting for the blinds to go up a little bit so I can make
Right.
Chris a little bit shorter because then it's just a lot easier for me to just be like, okay, now I have a hand. I can just try and get the chips in or
Definitely.
your decisions are just easier.
And we love that. We love easy
Yeah.
decisions. So John's got a lot of equity here. Good. I was going to
Yeah.
say when it gets when that comes in like that, that really changes
The be
what's
jamming hand.
the BJ 96. That's right.
Yeah.
But Chris had top pair and knows how hard it is. And I'm sure he's just going to check behind now here.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And
Yeah.
get that to showdown and win. But I liked
That's a
John's
nice
shot
pot for
there.
Chris.
Yeah.
That helps you a little bit too, especially if, just mentally, where you've taken that hit early in the match, and you want to get back going again. You want to
Mm-hmm.
be like, can I win a pot this round?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get that check and get the pot pushed in your direction is always a nice feeling.
It sure is. I like John going for it on the turn there with the draw. And but yeah, Chris just had too strong hand and snuffed him out.
I
And here
love
we
that
see that's
three bet sizing.
very
Yeah,
small
I
three bet
love that three
sizing,
bet. Yeah.
less than 6. You can put a lot of pressure on. And now, Chris is up to 32 big blinds, but he's still taking that limping the small blind approach. So
Hmm.
he's going to be doing that with a lot of these hands. And I think we'll see a bet from him here. Oh, no, just decides to check it back.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a bet. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So, and he really weakened his range by that check back.
Hmm.
And now you can see John taking advantage of that by putting the bet in.
It's like the pair of sixes is like it's in, and we got the back door with straight possibilities. It's I can see why he checked because we have a good hand.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
John, wow,
John
gets the
wins
through.
with the
Yeah,
worst hand, gets Chris to lay down
gets the lay down. Yeah.
the six. Now they both have king five offsuits. This is where you get to see
Ooh.
who wants it more, right? That's what you were saying earlier.
Right. Yeah. These are the ones that are interesting.
Usually what happens is the player in position wins these.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
just so valuable to be in position. And when both players are weak, um, it's just much easier. I might even see a bet here. No, okay.
I might bet
Now
the
I think
turn if I was
they'll probably
Chris.
try and get that king to showdown now. King high is pretty
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Way, we did it, Jim.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Everyone loves a chop pot.
Everyone
Everyone
loves a
loves a
chop
chop
pot.
pot.
How'd I do?
Hey,
Is
that
that
was
about
pretty
it? Is
good.
that
That
about
was
right?
pretty good.
Okay. Yeah,
I
the
see. I had to give you the little warm up first, and then we
that
do
help
it.
that helps a
Yeah,
lot.
give you a little
I
confidence.
you're like the wind beneath my wings, Ben. Where would I
See,
be without you here
I
tonight?
know.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So much better than that friggin' Taylor Moss.
Yeah, I like to think that I had like a few real rough practices in with
Yeah, he
Taylor.
did he did bear the brunt. I shouldn't be so mean to Taylor. He did
He
bear the
he
brunt of last week, so
he raised me up. He raised
he
me up to
did.
here,
Yeah,
and then you really took me to the next level, though, Ben. I want you to
yeah.
know that was masterful work.
It's like when somebody
Speaking,
hands you a jar and is like, "Can you open this?" and you're trying
that's
to try, and then
right.
you hand it back to them and they open it right away. You're like, "I loosened it for them. I loosened it for you. You wouldn't have gotten that if I hadn't
I
loosened
think
it for you."
I think
So,
you're right.
yeah,
Taylor loosened me up, and
he
then you
did.
popped the
Yeah.
lid right off. That's exactly how it happened. Well said. Well said. Now, I think Chris could play. I was just gonna say, great.
Yeah, all in.
Chris knows where the edges of those ranges are. And 20 big blinds, 25 big blinds, 30 big blinds, you can still find some profitable shoves, uh, even in heads up here. And a lot of them are going to be those like ace X hands.
Hmm.
So we'll see an open from John here for sure. And I expect this will just get called by Chris this time. Still has more than 20 big blinds.
Yeah, we're
So
still.
even though he's down quite a bit, there's no need to panic.
We were
I
talking about
think we'll
rounders earlier. This was like the when he's like, I cut off his leg in the first hand when he has the kings and he goes all in on Teddy.
right. That one reminds me of the pool, the billiards equivalent of rounders is a movie called Pool Hall Junkies. It's very similar story to rounders, but with billiards. And it's I don't know if it's just one of those like nostalgic ones that I love so much because I loved it when I was younger, but it's a pretty damn good movie and a freaking phenomenal soundtrack. So if you like rounders, and I know a lot of poker fans do, check out Pool Hall Junkies. If you enjoy billiards, you might get a kick out of that. Well, they each got a piece of it. I
Here,
wouldn't be
yeah, I was
surprised if
gonna
this got a
say,
bet and a call.
see if Chris goes for a little value.
He should. And you can fold to this is going to be one of those spots where he's comfortable betting. He's going to fold to a raise
Hmm.
if John brings a raise. John is capable of turning bottom pair into a raise in spots like this. But it's very
Just makes a good, comfortable call there, I think.
yeah, which is really that like
Yeah.
that's the textbook play there.
I have that on my
And
list of pool hall junkies. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
yeah, that's a fun one. Tell me if you enjoyed it. Now I've got this theme song stuck. Now I've got some of the songs stuck in my head already. So I might have to go watch that later. Great
Interesting one
cast, really
here
fun,
too.
really good movie.
1.5.
Yes, they both have a piece of it. And Chris has really been, I guess he's just setting up this rhythm of checking out a position all the time. Goes for the smooth call there. And then when the overcard comes, it's a pretty standard check. Hmm. Yep. Picks up
Call
some
from
chips
John.
though.
Just yeah, he's picking up chips.
It's close to, so Chris is really whittling away at that chip lead of John's. He's down to just slightly better than a 2-1. And oh, interesting. So Chris was interesting sizing. Chris, I think, was at 2.0 before, and now he's at 2.2 with the
2.2, yeah.
King Jack suited.
I like that 2.2 open.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have surprised, like you have more than 10% more fold equity than off
It
2x.
sounds
It's
crazy, but
more than
yeah,
10% more. I
I
think it
think
is.
I think you're right. As
Here we
crazy
got
as it
the
sounds for point two.
right. No, but I think it does. I think it does. So we've got a raise over John's limp here. And then this is a good board to see bet. This high,
Yeah.
low, low rainbow. It's hard to connect with. Um, Unfortunately for Chris, John did get that second
Ooh.
pair, so he's not going anywhere. But now we pick up the open ender. I think Chris will fire again
I was gonna
now.
say, yeah, I think another barrel here is probably in order for Chris.
And if he sizes up, it's going to be hard for John to
Yeah.
call. That's pretty big.
I was gonna say between 7 and 8 bigs is kind of what I expected. So
Well, he was reading your mail, partner.
yeah, he was.
Um,
Ooh, but we
and
don't
John
get
does make
there.
the call, and we do not improve. And so now we're really okay. I was
But
going to say now it's shove time. Like we really have
yeah, I
to
was gonna
either it's
say,
all or nothing
yeah.
at this point. And you can look
And
at John. You
John,
know we
yeah.
got him. He's
He's
got a
like, oh,
decision.
I really gotta call this off. Pair of friggin' sixes. This is how I
um,
want to end Chris right now.
right, exactly. And there,
He's
Chris
looking
is
at it.
just trying to be his stoic self and not give
Yeah,
anything away.
yeah.
Uh,
Chris has got the this is how I am. It's just
yeah,
no
no.
smiles. Don't look anywhere. Don't blink. Hopefully they
Don't
can't.
blink.
Hopefully they can't see my heart racing through my sweater.
Yeah, seriously. And John's got plenty of time. The time bank is deep on this one.
Yeah,
This was a
he is
limped
thinking
pot.
about it.
It was
He
a
has to
limped
lay it
pot that
down.
Chris raised over. So he is going to have more of those, like those high Broadway cards. So he might have,
Wow. That is a huge turning point in the match there because that brings
oh,
Chris
yeah,
almost back to even again with John. So
huge,
that was
huge.
a really important pot there.
I can't tell if he showed or not, but they're chuckling about
Oh
something.
yeah,
They're
I think
laughing about something there.
they might have I think either that or Chris might be telling them like, "Oh, I'm glad you
Yeah,
didn't call or
yeah,
whatever."
yeah, yeah. That's what
I
it
was
sounded
sweating
like.
that one.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Now here's where the metagame comes into play because John has Chris's favorite hand.
Mm.
I assure you, John would like nothing more in the world
This
than
would
to bust
be
Chris with
the
this hand
best.
right now.
Oh
That
yeah,
would like, oh
yeah,
man, that would be
the best.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna go. And look at the bet size. So
Ooh.
like he's really it's like this I want to take you out with this one.
Yeah.
So let's see now. Okay. So again, we've seen this queen five offsuit again. People look at it like, well, that's not a very strong hand, and it's not. But being able to block the queen X hands is valuable, and just being in position is so valuable that.
Mm.
Oh, we're getting
Chris is
some
probably
reports
happy here.
in the YouTube chat. He said, "I don't know if that was a good fold," and Chris said, "I don't know. Could you beat Queen Jack?" That's what they said.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd crack me up.
Yeah.
All right, so much equity, but no hand for Chris here. John has it with a pair of fives if he can find it. Looks like Chris is lining up a bet here.
Mm. This
Gonna
is
be hard.
kind of yeah. I was gonna
There it
say
goes.
I could talk myself into that paired board. All the flushes missed.
Yep.
We beat
Yep.
all the quite a few bluffs there.
Mm. See, the meta game is so interesting in these moments
Mm.
because like both these players know how aggressive each other is, and so I think that makes them stickier against each
Hmm.
other than they would be against other players. And so there's this sort of recursive effect where,
Yeah, the game
uh,
inside the game that we're not really getting a
yeah,
sneak peek at type thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's always hard to say
Hmm.
because we can kind of, we can draw on our experiences with these players and stuff like that, but we can't be that player sitting in that seat. So it's hard to kind of be, you know, deliver that kind of experience. But
Oh, yeah. I think Chris would like to call here because he knows how hard it is to make a pair, but
yeah.
it's a lot of his stack now that he's getting short. There's still going to be another card to come on the river. Even if he makes two pair, he's going to be counterfeit by the tens now. So
Hmm.
it's not a great spot, and he does let it go.
Yeah,
So I
letting it
like
go
that.
in.
I like that. Given the context, I think that's exactly the right way to play it. Even though, like we've been saying, you got to get sticky and stick around with pairs. That was a good savvy lay down.
Hmm.
Now we'll see. I'm guessing the 2x. Yeah.
Yeah, two big blinds.
And John will just call and hit top pair.
Yeah, this
Not,
could be dangerous for John.
yeah. I think Chris
We're
is
just gonna
gonna,
see some calling here, probably.
yeah, this will go bet call. I mean, actually, John could raise here, but okay. Uh, wow, another good card.
Mm.
John thinks for him, but let's see a bigger bet here,
Yeah, I
Chris.
was
I want
gonna
to see
say
like,
you must be reading my mind over there, like a big pot size bet.
uh, no, still just stringing him along. All right. He's gonna get the call.
There's just so many tricky rivers. Even this river, I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, I should have bet bigger on the turn.
Right. Let's see if John could take a stab at it here when the overcard comes and changes changes what top pair is. That's a good opportunity. But no, he's got second pair and says, let's just get
He's
this to
good.
showdown.
Yeah, he's happy
Chris,
with.
I think, will make a small bet though. It wouldn't surprise me. He can still bet, he can still get called by 9x, um, pocket sixes, pocket sevens.
Yeah, it's really tricky here because I don't know what I would want to like. Do we want to go really small and then, oh, he goes big.
He goes big. He wants to have some bluffs there.
Oh, and we got John thinking about it
Yeah,
too.
right. This is why I love watching these guys play against each other
Mm,
because they
they're so
they've
good.
explored a lot of these
Yeah.
different branches in the decision tree. And so this is a polarizing bet, right?
Yeah, this is a tough
He's gonna have a
situation.
bunch of bluffs. And this is a good candidate for it. And you can like their hands are very close in strength. Like, it's
It is, yeah.
but Chris is in a much more comfortable
Wow, makes the
position.
call.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Chris just left three big blinds behind with that sizing.
Mm,
Like he didn't shove. He put in almost all his chips, and it was a very interesting size to choose given the pot in his stack. And just like that,
he
he
has
has
the
like
chip lead.
a one big blind chip lead.
Yeah.
And I think I'm calling if I'm John there too. You've had top pair through the turn, the river comes and there's one
Yeah.
overcard.
I
It's
think,
hard for your
yeah.
opponent to have a five, especially when you know your opponent is like someone like Chris Jones who's going to be able to pull the trigger
I think I'm
on a
doing the
lot of those
same thing.
bluffs.
Is just
Yeah.
tanking, trying to think it over and then making the inevitable call.
Yeah. So we get a 8 on the river, and we see a blocking bet from Chris. And yeah, I think I'm also calling if I'm John there with ace high.
Yeah, so in a couple of hands, this is
Hmm.
turned in Chris's favor.
Yep.
So we can see he's won more hands. He's won 24
Oh yeah, good point.
and John's won 16.
Like
So
18 or 16. Yeah,
yeah.
I can't quite see. These old eyes.
Oh, they're not that old.
You're kind to say.
We do
A
got a little what do they call that? Salt.
little salt and pepper.
Is that what they call
Yeah.
it? Yeah, a little salt and the pepper. Yeah.
I got
See,
a
I'm
little,
so
little
young, I
salt.
don't even know what they
You don't
call
even know what the idioms
it. Yeah, I
are.
don't
No,
even
it's
know what
like
the saying is. Yeah. Although I'll soon be a dad, so maybe
uh,
maybe those be some grays that start sneaking
you'll
in
get
once
some
that happens.
grays. A
Yeah.
few grays, a few wrinkles. They come with the territory.
Yeah.
Congratulations again, man. I'm so
Yeah,
excited
it's
for you and
crazy.
Brianna. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
we're very excited. So
Summer baby? Is that the
summer baby, yeah.
wow? And they even get a great birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some kids have
Canada
all the luck.
Day. Well, that's what,
Canada
yeah,
Day. I love
supposedly.
it.
So, yeah. Only the Canadians will know what day that is. None of the all the Americans right now are
That's
like,
right.
Canada Day, that's a day?
Every day is Canada
Yeah,
Day.
really, yeah.
You kidding? No, that's funny. Oh man. So now Chris, yeah, Evil Roy, get those guesses in. Absolutely. You can still get those guesses in. Now Chris has the pocket fives. He doesn't know
Yeah.
that John's got half his hand locked up, but Chris Chris would love to take it down right here. Spill the pot for when that case five comes on the river. And both players still have tons of chips. There is no urgency. No one's getting desperate.
No, we definitely got some poker to be played here
Mm-hmm.
before we
Mm-hmm.
see a winner crowned.
It looks like Chris might be the okay, I was gonna say when you get into heads up like this, some players you kind of have to start developing some raises with absolute garbage
Hmm.
to balance it out. So picking the right times and spots for that is hard.
Ooh, this is good time to have kings.
Yep.
But
And this is a single raise
ooh.
pot, so we're going to be checking a lot here out of
Hmm.
position. I expect we'll get a bet from Chris, and I don't know how John will play it because he doesn't have a spade in his
Not
hand.
sure.
Oh, we did just get the check back. Oh, wow.
Wow, makes
Quads.
quads. Gotta have quads.
Quads. Holy. Um,
Yeah, this is how I think John's actually taken me out with quads before
oh
from
no,
the
really?
quarterly quick fold from Chris. But yeah, there was
Yeah.
I think well I notoriously have had bad runs in that tournament and
Have you?
yeah, yeah, I think I've lost to quads a couple times in that
Ouch.
quarterly heads up. So when
That
somebody has
hurts.
quads heads up and you've got there's three on the board and you've got one of the other cards, it's hard to get away from.
Good point. Good point. So
Should have had
here,
some
here
hand
now we're
histories on cue, but
now here's one of those spots we were talking about where Chris
mm,
is taking a like essentially a garbage hand and just turning it into a bluff here. Now he flops bottom pair. It's a pretty good board to continue with, so I think we'll see a C bet. He doesn't know that John's
yeah, John's got it
got it locked
locked.
up with
Yeah,
top two.
but he does have a
And
five in his hand, so he does have the extra
that's right.
Chris Jones equity there
It's true. All it
with the
takes is one
fives.
more five. One more five.
John just calling.
Yeah. And I don't know if Chris will bet here or
I'm not
not.
sure. This is a tough one to
The calling
because this
range, they
stack to
have a
pot
bunch of
ratio is
oh yeah, true. Good point. Good
getting a little
points.
weird as well.
Um that eight doesn't really help the range of hands that call, but it also doesn't add any equity for us. And
I'd be interested to see if we see John check here or if he puts in I imagine he bets
I
here,
think
but
he's betting. I think he missed a small bet that makes oh, that's bigger than I was expecting. That's bigger than I was expecting. I thought a
oh, the
small bet.
eyebrow raise from
Oh.
Chris.
He's thinking about, and this is what I love
Yeah.
about this. So he's making this look a little bluffier,
Hmm.
which means that Chris then has to think, okay, well, do I need to call with some bluff catchers? And makes the correct fold. I thought maybe a smaller bet there might have made a river bet harder to fold to
Hmm.
because the stacks would have been smaller. That's the only thing I can think of for John there.
Almost like a check because the stack to pot ratio. I mean,
He was close enough.
we can just play
Hmm.
play on the river. We're almost 1-1, so and it kind of disguises your hand a little bit.
Hmm.
There is some cards that are gonna hurt us, or ones that not gonna really enjoy to see, but
Right.
we can be a little. I like being a little bit sneaky there.
So here we get another one of those spots where, we haven't picked up any equity as John, but by checking back the flop there, Chris kind of demonstrates some weakness and invites a bluff from John. And then he's just decided that Chris isn't going to fold. So I think John's done with the hand here. Oh, we'll see a bet from Chris for like 4 big blinds, 5 big blinds, or something like that. And then, or maybe this is another one of those polarized spots where you can take a larger sizing.
Just go for like
He's got
17 and a half
2x.
or something.
He's got 2x pot. So yeah, no, okay, that feels more. That feels more like it. What did I say? 4 or 5? That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting close in chips again. Chris
It
is
is
down a
close,
little,
yeah.
but
I feel like this
everyone's got a
match
lot.
could just be over at like any second. Like it's got
Yeah.
that feeling like there could be one, big
Hmm.
spot and then
Yeah, well, these guys they don't mind making big plays. When the
yeah.
situation calls for it, they'll put big bets in and they'll call big bets when the situation calls for it. So I agree with you. I think either one of these guys could get 30 bigs in the right spot
Yeah.
here, and that's all it
Because I
takes.
don't think we've said that in the other matches where we were like, because 30 bigs has felt like a pretty safe stack
Mm-hmm.
for the other
Mm-hmm.
matches, but in this match,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like more like, oh, I don't know. It
Yeah,
could uh it could all come to a head here, so to
that's
speak.
right. Yeah, well, these guys know how to push their edges, so that makes sense. So we'll get a call from John here, I'm sure, with the pair of fives. Oh boy,
Ooh.
that's not what you want to see when you're Chris Jones. I don't think
No,
John
not
will lead. No,
exactly.
he
No, because
um
I'm not sure
if
he
Chris
probably gonna
checks
check
back
back.
here, he's gonna try and get that king to showdown. So I think this will go. John should recognize that and bet here because he's not. Best case scenario for John is that Chris, yeah, and here's that over bet.
The overbet,
I
yeah.
like I like this a lot. Now it gives Chris an
Because
easy
it looks
decision.
bluffy too, and all the hearts missed.
Yeah, gives Chris an easy decision with his exact hand, but really does put him in a difficult spot
Hmm.
with his aces and with his some of the other strong hands there, 10x. Oh, they're having fun. They're
Oh
having a
yeah,
good time down
they're
there. They're
yeah,
definitely having a
they're
good
laughing,
time.
having a good time.
3 walks in a row. Lots of
Yeah.
respect here. This will be an open. Oh, actually, yeah, too many chips to limp now, I think. Yeah, so Chris is back to his opening now that we're at about 30 big blinds effective. They both hit a 3. Chris has a slightly better couple of back doors there. And that does not
Yeah,
help with
that
any
doesn't
of
help
them.
either of them.
Well, that'll be the we're gonna
Another big, decent sized bet here. This is healthy bet from
yeah,
John. He's just turning his three into a bluff here.
that's right. It suits the action. He can have a lot of the diamonds there, so that makes sense. And yep, gets the
Yep,
fold.
Chris just folds.
I think we'll get an open from John here. And I think this is maybe a 3-bet shove from Chris on the charts, but
Maybe, yeah.
it's an easy hand to play out of position
Oh, he does
though. But you
shove,
don't know,
yeah.
there it goes. There's the shove. Yeah. These guys know the charts. That's what I'm telling you. There's a lot of
Yeah,
equity in
they
that
definitely
hand.
do. I
And
was curious to
you're
see if he
gonna
was going to go for like another 5.5 or something like that.
I'd rather do that with a hand
Like your
like
two
ace king
broadways,
or
yeah,
yeah, exactly because they're you're going to see more flops that way, and pocket seven's just so hard to play without improving, you know.
right.
It's easy to play without improving, you just fold all the time. Is the problem. So
Yeah,
I like playing either with like the higher SPR or shoving. That in between 3-bet feels like it handcuffs us too much. So here's that limp, getting back into the limping range. 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we could see it go in here, to be honest with you. With they both have the open-ended straight draw. They both have 2 overs.
hmm
Um, it's a good board for John to be leading, and he does. So
does,
that's
yeah.
great. And so we can raise here with Chris as the open ender. We've got all the
You
over
got that
pairs
Queen
because
of
we
Hearts
opened
too, which
pre-flop.
is a lovely
Yep,
card to have.
good point. Yeah, there's that raise from Chris. That makes perfect sense. And John could shove. Um, Having the ace helps a lot. And yeah, so there's the effective shove. And I think Chris might call here. Uh, it's a gross spot, but there's 27 big blinds in the middle. You only have 16 back.
Yeah,
You got 8 outs that you
you
know
can
are going
see
to
him
give you the
thinking about
win.
it. Yeah,
I mean, you hate to call on a draw, but the way that the action has gone in this hand, I mean, I don't know what the right play is here. I'll just tell you right now. I don't know if it's correct to call or correct to fold, but it's I mean, I could make a pretty persuasive argument for either.
yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. You see him. I think he's trying to break it down in his head as to what he's doing. You see John stone faced, not
John's in stoic mode. Yeah,
he's in
exactly.
stoic mode. He's not giving up any information. Chris is really trying though.
Yeah.
He does called off.
Yep. So and sees the bad news. That's
Oh,
not what you
that
want
was
to
a
see, and
rough
then yeah, that
turn.
doesn't
The second
help. And
chop
then
here.
just to
Oh,
add insult to injury, give the guy his queen on
oh
the
no.
river when it's too late to accomplish anything.
That was
Chris,
my
you
horse. He's
you
gone.
poor you poor bugger, you cannot get past John Somsky in the MaREC Madness bracket. So congratulations to John Somsky, who gets to show Chris the door yet again and advance to round 2. That was my favorite match of the
Yeah.
night. That one was great to see. Some really savvy play from
Yeah.
both players, sizings, board textures, choosing to get aggressive, fantastic bluff spots, fantastic bluff sizings, great pressure applied, great calls. I just love watching those two play poker. Now, Ben, you're still in this thing. There's a chance that you're going to have to face off against one of these two. Have you
I
been like
know.
making notes and preparing yourself so that you have a chance to get some insider knowledge when round 2 comes along? How are you preparing
I
now that
don't
you kind
want
of
to
like know who some of these are going to be?
I don't want to give up too much, but I do have quite a bit of poker tracker information and
Mm,
I can filter for heads up situations.
nice.
I know a few of these players I played with heads up for titles before in the home game and stuff like that.
Yep.
So setting up my poker tracker and having it geared so that I can filter for that stuff is really good because then I can go through some hands. Now I find that some of those home game hands are a little different because like we were saying before we lost the stream on Tuesday that it's the different sizes and stuff like that when you get down and plus you have other information to consider about playing a final table with somebody. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, just like you seen Rob, like I felt Rob's pain when he was, I could feel him with the frustration and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that is my biggest weakness is just like stone face, stoic, take a breath, use the time bank and
Mm-hmm.
go for it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm
All
planning on
right.
doing.
Right on, man. Well, good luck to you in the next round. And good luck to all our winners tonight. Some fantastic matches. I want to just take this moment to thank everyone who's been following along in the Twitch chat. You made it a lot more fun for everybody with your contributions tonight. That was awesome. And Chris says, BJam 96 was my pick for the record, too. So right back at you. You guys had each other's
Yep.
backs. And John says Chris took me out round one last year. Okay, so there has been
Yep.
some
The meta game.
reciprocity to this. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Glad to hear it. So yeah, tune in for the next one, March 26th, Tuesday, March 26th. The broadcast will go live, I think, at 8:30 Eastern or 8:45 Eastern, but the matches will start at 9 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday, March 26th. 8 o'clock Central. I just want to thank again Taylor Moss, who's done so much fantastic work. Every Wednesday night, you can go to twitch.tv/RecPoker and watch him stream his play in the nightly home game. He's really generous with his thoughts as well, and he shares a lot of his decision-making process with the audience. They're there in the group, so it's a great way to play along with Taylor and get some insights from a fantastic poker mind. But he also puts this entire operation together every year for MaREC Madness, and it's a feat. It's a logistical feat, and my hat's off to him. So thank you, Taylor. Thank you for all our participants tonight. Thank you to everyone in the Twitch TV chat. Ben, we did it,
Yeah,
man. We
we
got a
did it. We got
chance.
through
We
it.
did it.
Yeah. Thanks for having
We're
me here again for this is I said I get the best of both year this year because I get to play and I get to be in the booth, so I can't ask for any better. So I
That's
got to thank
right.
you guys for having me on, and yeah, hopefully I can take this thing down.
That's what I want to see. And don't forget, you can catch Ben at his channel at BJamin 96 on Fridays and Saturdays, playing in the home game and all the other fantastic places that he plays. So I guess without further ado, thank you so much for joining us from MaREC Madness. Check out the podcast wherever fine podcasts are located. And we'll see you in next Tuesday, March 26th, to continue this on. And looking forward to that with a smile on my face. Can't wait. Any parting thoughts for our audience here before we wrap this puppy up?
I think we're all good, Jim. I think we did it. We made it through.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't get to award any prizes, unfortunately. So our producer will have to make a note that we'll have to keep some of those prizes in the barrel. Hopefully, we can give them away. Hopefully, we can give them away next week instead. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I think we're gonna wrap this puppy up. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much.